Boom.
Boom, boom, boom.
We in the building, people. We in the building.
We outside. Salute JJ Short in the building.
JJ Short Deuce, my brother's in the building. First one in the building, JJ Short Deuce.
There we go. Got it put together. We got another great weekend of some boxing coming up too, man.
Yeah, we got Tevin Farmer Zepeda, right?
We got Tevin Farmer Zepeda. Obviously that whole card, right? I mean, mainly I think people looking for William
Who
Zepeda.
else is on the card?
We got Zerto and Billiam Smith. So that's a cruiserweight fight. That's actually the main event on that card. Oscar Duarte was supposed to fight Kenny Sims Jr., but Kenny Sims Jr. hurt himself.
He got injured.
Yeah, so he's fighting a nobody now. We got Arnold Barbosa versus Jose Ramirez.
Oh, that's the fight. I can't remember Arnold Barbosa to save my life. I keep forgetting he's in the mix for the Jack Catterall fight.
Exactly. He's actually supposedly like some sort of like the I believe he's the WBO like interim or whatever you want to call it, champion. So they're actually fighting for yeah, exactly. They're gonna be fighting Jack Catterall because it looks like Teofimo, and you got the news better on that as far as what Teofimo is trying to do. And then you got the top rank card. You got the sequel, the rematch between Oscar Valdez and Emmanuel Navarrete, which was a shootout.
I don't even want to see that.
You don't? And then you got Robesi Ramirez and Rafael Espinosa too as well.
Yeah, I want to see that.
Yeah.
Salute to my son John is in the building. I love you too, baby boy. Salute. Love you, kid. Salute. Love you, kid. That's my oldest son right there.
Okay.
John J. Joe, my brother in the super chat. I mean in the building. Just being in the building. Unknown in the building. Next level coach in the building. Story 70 Deuce Invaders in the building. The Queen, the beautiful Queen. I am Amanda 73. She's in the building. Larry Tucker in the building. Official Hayes in the building. My brother, A.K. Crowder, he's in the building.
Salute.
Joe Johnson, nephew, he in the building. Dante McGinnis is in the building. Set the Tone in the building. Ronald Ellis in the building. John Thompson in the building. Hannibal in the building. The beautiful Queen, Maya Egypt, she's in the building.
Salute, Queen. Salute, Maya Egypt.
Randall 700, he in the building. T Bonafide in the building. Mo Taylor in the building. Bracker Rog in the building. Southwest Dice, he in the building. DeMarcus Martin in the building. Throw Straight Facts Boxing in the building. Kevin Jackson. What happened? Kevin Jackson in the building. D-Town 5-4, he in the building. Larry Tucker in the building. Sean Silas in the building. Spam 619 in the building. Jonathan Simon, he in the building. Crypto Chris is in the building. Salute, my brother. Father Isaiah in the building and in the super chat. Salute.
And salute to Zaya, man.
He said, it is true, Dev and T.O. people saying it's cap. No, it's not. I literally know it's not cap. Salute to you, brother. I literally know it's not cap. They're literally trying to make the fight, and is really the ball is in Teofimo court. Cinnamon Savage, my brother, in the building. Johnny Merckx is in the building. King Brian in the building. Jesse R is in the building. Bird Click in the building. Yee Huncho, he's in the building. Main Man in the building. The Future, he in the building. Joel, my brother, what's up, family? Where you been at, great brother? No love for your boy Blue, huh? No love for your boy Blue, Joel. Where you been at, great brother? No love for me.
Salute, Joel.
No love for your boy Blue. Just disappeared on me, great brother. Just disappeared on me. Hey Zeus, he in the building. Throwing straight facts. He said Teo was live today, and he said he ain't fighting. Well, they in talk, so I don't know if Teo trying to pull out or what he trying to do. Chris Doherty, my brother, in the building. I don't know if Teo trying to pull a fast one. D. Rich Richardson, my brother, in the building. Ruben Gutierrez in the building. L. Harper Reptile in the building. AP in the building. Knockout Boxing 86 TV, he in the building. Teo indeed said today, fight not happening. Is that what he said? Hey, I don't know if Teo trying to pull a fast one. I don't know. Teo is a wild card. We never know what's going on with Teo. You just never know. You know what I'm saying? It's a shame if he does, right? Because we need to see the best versus the best. And all these stunts that Teofimo Lopez is out here pulling, instead of fighting somebody, it's just nasty work. Yeah. He's being a part of the problem, right? Peace and blessing, the beautiful Queen Kiki, she's in the building. You're a part of the problem, and you are hurting the sport of boxing. First of all, you got all these things to say about African American people, right? And maybe he was on his live on Instagram. I don't know. Hey, Bamad, what's up, family? Light Eyes, what's up? Motorsport Sports, what's up? Teo and Devin's not happy, says Teo. Where did he say this, on Instagram? I don't know. Hey, he's a part of the problem. Teo is a part of the problem in the sport of boxing. If he indeed pulls out of the fight and he was on Fight Hub, okay. On Instagram Live, okay. He pulls out this fight and don't want to. Great Gambino, what's up? That's nasty work, bro. He has nothing. When is the last time he fought? Steve Claggett? And he didn't even have a great performance. He didn't even have a great performance. So you pulling out of fights. You trying to fight Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford doesn't even want to fight you. He has no interest in fighting you.
He said it's all false until further notice. Yeah.
He said it's all false until further notice.
Right. So basically, what I hear in that little snippet that I just heard is basically the negotiations aren't final yet, and he's probably still trying to leverage some sort of he's probably trying to get more money. He's probably trying to leverage and get more money.
So he's not saying he's not fighting it.
He's saying until further notice. So he literally made sure he said until further notice.
It's like I said, they in conversations. So it's not solidified. That's a different conversation.
Right.
That's a different conversation. So he didn't say the fight is not happening. He said until further notice. Obviously, he have to negotiate the fight.
Right.
So that's obvious, right? Until further notice. Yeah, they have to give him what he's looking for. Is essentially what he's telling you. He has a number that he's looking for, and they have to meet that number.
Right.
That's what this boils down to. He has a number that he wants to be met, and he needs that number met before he proceeds forward. So that's different than him saying the fight is not happening.
Right.
Now, I don't know if it was titled that Teo said the fight is not happening, right? Mm-hmm. So that's different. So that's different. They again, like I said, they're in conversations. They're in talks. They're in conversations. So that's different than him saying the fight is not happening. Him saying that until further notice doesn't mean the fight is not happening. That means that they're in negotiations, right? Until further notice. So when they give him meet the number that he's trying to negotiate, then that's the further notice, right, Clay?
Right. I mean, when we know, I'm watching right here. Let me just see here.
You can play it.
All right. It's all false calls and accusations, which is not even the right word to use. But let me pull it up on my phone that way I could play it on here. I was playing it on my other screen on my computer. Hold on. I'll pull it up right now. I'm finding Dev. Where's it short? Right here. Okay.
Rumors, of course, about the negotiations of me and Devin Haney. Right now, sorry to say, guys, but this is all false accusations until further notice, guys.
You hear it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it comes down to. And that's not saying that there's no negotiation happening. But look, I'm gonna be honest with you, Blue. I wouldn't be shocked if he doesn't throw a wrench in it and mess up the fight, man. It
Not
goes,
at all.
it moves a parallel with his with what he does. You know what I'm saying? He's giving a lot of people a lot of difficulties right now. He's trying to make a stand for more money. That's clearly what he's going through with Bob Arum and Top Rank. And that's clearly what he's going through with a lot of other promoters too, because he also tried to make a fight with Brian Norman and then backed out of that. Obviously, the money wasn't there for him there. He's trying to chase Terrence Crawford down for money, trying to get with Turkey. He's trying to chase down, he said weird things about potentially Boots and other people, and nothing's manifested. And now that Devin Haney is reaching out to him, I'm sure the team is reaching out to him to negotiate, to make a fight. He denies that Turkey Al-Sheikh ever had any type of real offer on the table for him and Devin. And now, obviously Bill Haney and Devin Haney reaching out, trying to negotiate, make a fight. And he's making it difficult again, because he believes he should be a super high pay-per-view boxer who's never fought on pay-per-view before. He doesn't think that, he's ultimately pricing himself out. But look, I'm not here I can't put no price on, like, yo, Tio, if you feel like you're worth a lot of money, I'm not here to take his value and engage it for him. If that's what you feel like. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. But I can tell you, ain't no boxing happening with your ass with this shit you're doing. Like, ain't no boxing happening. I don't see no fights happen. I don't see nobody biting on the worm. All the things you're doing with the race baiting and all the nonsense you're doing, meeting people at fights. I'm saying, getting fingers poked in your forehead, going on talk shows, talking crazy. Saying you fought two white boys, now you need to fight two black boys. All the different things that you're going through, that you're doing, hasn't manifested into not one damn fight. All I've seen is Steve Claggett, you know what I'm saying? And I saw Jermaine Ortiz, pretty much a lot of people thought he beat you. I seen Santa Martin, a lot of people thought he beat you. I seen Josh Taylor, who, congratulations for Josh Taylor, even though a lot of people would say that he probably, hung out at 140 too long, for whatever it's worth, but he did go ahead and fight Jack Catterall. And then, Ocampo. I don't see what all this talking has done for him lately. He must know, the smile on his face says that he knows something that none of us out here know about his business. We have no clue. Clearly, none of us have no clue about what he's doing, right? But he has a pot of gold waiting at the end of this rainbow. Maybe it's Ryan Garcia. Maybe he's feeling secure. I heard rumors about Ryan Garcia and him in April that Henry Garcia put out there. So maybe that's part of the whole thing. Maybe he just knows what he has, and I don't know. You know what I mean? But we'll be waiting on Tio, I guess, at the end of the day. But if I was Devin and Bill, I wouldn't hold my breath, and I definitely have a backup plan.
Yeah, for sure he can definitely pull out, but again, I literally know that they're in negotiation.
Yeah.
And if he pulls out, he pulls out.
Yeah.
But again, if you listen to what he says right now, and he says until further notice.
Right.
That's because he's looking for a number. It's not that they're not talking about it,
right,
and negotiating it. It's just that he's looking for a specific number that he feels like he's probably like, okay, if I'm gonna do this, we got to start here, and they probably starting where he ain't comfortable. Yeah. So
I'm also curious as to where the fight would happen. If he's having problems with Bob Arum, I mean,
Yeah.
is he trying? I heard that he's trying to get off a Top Rank, right? That's ultimately what he's trying to do, right? Am I wrong? Is that still the case, or
Yeah.
did they figure out? So they're going to try to pull him to Matchroom. Oh, I mean, I don't want to get too deep into it. Actually, now that I think about it, we kind of go a little bit about it earlier. Now that I think about it, yeah, it's going to be interesting.
That's what I'm saying. You know, so it's on him, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You know,
what do you mean that? Yeah, okay. Somebody, I see what you're talking about, Blue. People in here basically trying to say that you're lying. They're saying that you're making something up. They don't want to give legitimacy to the idea that the fight is in negotiations.
Who said that?
I mean, who is it? Drew, Blue. They're not in negotiations. You just think you know everything. You know what I'm saying? So I'm assuming that's what this is all about, right? You know what I mean? I don't know.
I don't even, first of all, I don't even know who the hell Drew is.
Right.
Second of all, Clay knows this as a fact, and I know Boston. Do you? What's up? I literally was on the phone with Bill, and then I literally was on the phone representatives from Top Rank that said that they're trying to make the fight. So I don't have to make this up to you. That's pretty silly for you to say it. You know, you are more concerned with me being wrong than actually seeing the best fight the best. You're sad. That means that in your real life, you're stuck in mud. Ty in the sky, peace and blessings, Queen. That just means that you're stuck in mud. I'm trying to give you positive information, and you dudes is sitting here complaining about it. You can't make this up. Jalen, peace and blessings, Queen. My brother Ray Davis in the building. What's up, family?
Salute, Ray.
I'm literally trying to keep you guys. Clay can tell you this. I literally, before I started the stream, got off the phone with them. Literally. That's why we started late. Yeah. I literally got off the phone with them, and I'm giving you guys update information, and you're complaining. Only in the sport of boxing can you get just morons or us. You more concerned with me being wrong than actually hoping to see the best. You should be praying that I'm correct instead of trying to be negative that I'm wrong.
Yeah.
How? Why? Bro, you should go somewhere. You know, there should be. I ain't even gonna say what I wanted to say. Jessica, peace and blessings, Queen. I ain't even gonna say what I wanted to say. And this all stems with, you know, you're a Tank Davis fan. That's what the problem is. Mac Majestic, what's up, family? Just like people running around talking about I'm lying on Tank Davis. Ain't nobody proved me wrong yet. J Pitty City, what's up, family? They still ain't get a venue? Hey, Lamont Roach just did an interview saying that he's the last person. Hey, Clay, did you see the interview Lamont Roach did?
No, I didn't watch the interview. I saw there was one there. I didn't watch it, though. I'm
Clay,
assuming. What did he say? He's the last one to know or something?
He said, I'm the last person to know anything. Bro, you are the fighter.
Straight up.
How is he the last person to know? Ronnie 2K said, KO cooked you, buddy. Okay. How did he cook me? Did they update the venue? Dante McGinnis, what's up, family? Not so smart guy. Pay attention. Just because you want me to be wrong. Just because you want me to be wrong, don't mean that I'm wrong. Did you see an update on the venue? Lamont Roach just told you that they ain't even fighting. He don't think they fighting in Texas no more. Lamont Roach just said, I don't even know if we gonna fight in Texas. Yet you just said I got cooked. Make it make sense. You're not very bright. You need to go back to grade school. You're not very bright. He didn't cook me on anything. You better pay attention. Yeah. You better pay attention. He didn't cook me on anything.
You know what I've learned?
There is no issues with no venue. Lamont Roach just told you he's the last person to know anything, and he don't even know. He said, I'm hearing we could fight in January. That's the last thing I'm hearing. And I don't even think we're going to fight in Texas. Yet you just said I got cooked. You're not very bright. I told you it's not about a venue. Not so smart guy. That's not about the venue. Not so smart guy. If it was about a venue, why don't they have an update? It's not hard to move locations. They would have moved locations already. Furthermore, David Benavidez and David Morrell got a date already. And they did it on their own. Muscle Up Kev, what's up? Kendra, what's up, family? 8, what's up? David Robertson,
what's the undercard on what's the undercard on that fight card for Tank and Roach?
It was supposed to be Jamal Charlo. Cornflake is supposed to fight Jamal Charlo. He's saying he's 100% fighting Jamal Charlo. Jamal Charlo's still trying to fight Demetrius Andrade. You dudes are not very bright. It's just. I mean, you can believe.
Yeah, I just looked up on BoxRec. They still don't got an undercard for that fight yet. That card.
So it's about a venue. Yet they didn't fix the issue with the venue. For what's considered to be the biggest fighter in boxing, right? If you believe that, you believe elephants fly. Dewan T, my brother in the super chat, dropping that cinco. Teofimo been avoiding Devin for years. I have zero confidence he is going to fight Devin. We got a better chance seeing Tank versus Keyshawn, and that's low. I'm just being hopeful. Travis Gibbons, what's up? Again, like I said, I'm being hopeful that the fight comes to fruition. You know what I'm saying? Why wouldn't I be hopeful? Juan Harris, what's good? It's not even that I destroyed KO, right? There's no winner in the situation, right? Because you can try to debate the venue all you want to, but common sense tells you it's not a venue issue. That's just common sense. That's just common sense. No, I'm not very entertaining. I'm very truthful. Did you see a new venue, Ronnie 2K? Tell me where's the new venue. Tell me who else, Ronnie 2K, told you that they having an issue with the venue outside of that post from Dan Raphael. Clay, have you seen anybody else tell you that it's an issue with the venue?
Not at all.
Outside of that one post that what's his name?
Who, the post of what? Dan Raphael? What post?
Dan Raphael. Dan Raphael is the only person that posted that. You didn't see Tank post it. Lamont Roach ain't say it. Nobody, Jamal Charlo ain't say it. Andre's supposed to be on the undercard. He ain't say it. Ain't nobody else said they have an issue with the venue. PBC didn't issue a statement saying we got an issue with the venue. Nobody else has told you that. Not a single person told you that they're having an issue with the venue outside of that one post from Dan Raphael. And he never even mentioned it again, did he, Clay?
Mm-hmm.
Because he retweeted about it and reposted, and he still ain't say nothing about a venue in the second one, and nobody else mentioned anything about a venue. Not a single. Woo! Peace bless to the Queen, K different breed. Peace bless to the Queen. Ray said, I did see this. Nope, I did see this, Blue, outside the venue tweet. I don't understand what you're saying, Ray.
Me neither. Nope, I did see this, Blue, outside the venue tweet. Yeah, I don't know. Probably a that typing that word correction, whatever. I'm sure he'll correct it.
So listen, I don't mind standing corrected. Show me anybody who mentioned that outside of that said anything about the venue. Tank posted that emojis. Tank's emojis. I don't understand. Cali World, peace and blessings, Queen. Yeah, I had Wally Moses on Great Gambino, and he said he told me and Clay that, didn't he? that his hands was Shakur hands been injured for a while.
Yeah, I've been. That's why I was trying to. I said that before the Stormy. I was saying that
Ronnie 2K. Ronnie 2K. I'm asking you. You said that he beat me in a debate. What did he prove? Where is the proof of the venue? Who else is telling you they're having an issue with the venue? Who else told you there's an issue with the venue? I'm just asking for a friend. Who else is telling you there's an issue with the venue? Show me. I don't mind standing corrected. Blue, he want fight Devin. Devin will be at Tank. I put that on everything I love. You heard multiple people say it was about money from different walks of life.
Yeah.
Multiple people. You heard what you wanted to hear. Makadoshi, Makadasha, what's good? But again, y'all ran with the narrative it's about a venue. So let me ask you a question, Ronnie 2K. Why did it take so long, and why is it taking so long to fix the venue?
I wonder if Dan Raphael would have said they're hearing that there's issues with the money being paid. Would you guys believe it, or would Dan Raphael be full of, you know what I mean? Like, would anybody be able to say that and it'd be something you could take, like if Dan Raphael said that, because I'm gonna wait for it. Dan Raphael will eventually say something that don't go with you guys, and you guys are gonna say he's lying. Well, how's he lying then when you guys say it is and he's telling the truth right now? And I don't think he's no liar. I think he's speaking based off what his contacts and his connects is saying. But at the end of the day, with so many different stories out there about issues with the promotion, with the money actually that Tank is asking for go out there, how does one Dan Raphael story hold so much weight that Blue's lying? Making stuff up about the other thing. That's what I'm saying. Like, how does it get that far?
It makes zero sense. Furthermore, look what he says, Clay. You see, this is what I'm talking about. You can only do it, Clay. This only exists in boxing. He says mistakes happen.
Okay.
So let me ask you a question, Ronnie 2K. When you seen PBC make this mistake, ever? With a fight of this magnitude. You ever seen him make this mistake with Errol Spence? You ever seen him make this mistake? Joe Townsend, what's up, family? You ever seen him make this mistake with Errol Spence? You ever seen him make this mistake with Floyd Mayweather? Did they make this mistake when they signed Manny Pacquiao? Did they make this mistake with Tank ever? Did they make this mistake with Deontay Wilder? Did they make this mistake with Jamal and Jamel Charlo? Ever? Who else they got on the roster, Clay? David Benavidez. Did they make this mistake? Did they make this mistake with Canelo Alvarez?
Nope. Yeah, I've never seen them make a mistake like this, like to the point where the event's canceled. I mean, I've never seen, you know what I mean? Like, I have nothing to reference. I'd be interested if anybody has any type of reference of like this situation happening like this, like an issue with the venue and then it has to get pushed out, and then if it does get pushed out, you would think there'd be another date. Yo, I didn't know Bruce Carrington's fighting on his Mike Tyson card.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that. Yeah.
He said not that I know of. Okay, so not that you know of, but you saying that they told you for the first time in history of the PBC that you know of, with a fighter of this magnitude, they made a mistake with a venue. I'm telling you, there's issues going on with money. Which one makes more sense? Use your common sense, not what you want to believe. And furthermore, this is not a knock against Tank Davis. This is actually in favor of Tank Davis. But you're so silly with your statements and your mindset and your outlook that you're not even paying attention, because paying attention is too expensive. It's the most free, expensive thing in the world, paying attention. Paying attention is the most free, expensive thing in the world. And it's too expensive for most of y'all. All you got to do is pay attention. So therefore, Sean said, this dude's still talking about money issues, BS. Go sit at the kitty table. You're not even worth my time. Get out of here. Morons are us. Robert Chandler, what's up, family? Morons are us. If it's an issue with the venue, they would have fixed it already for the biggest fighter or top two. Ain't he, Clay? Top two biggest fighter in all of boxing. Top two faces. Do you think they would have dragged out Canelo Alvarez fight because of a venue like this with no date in sight? Genius.
Absolutely not, bro. Absolutely not.
These people are not very bright. You are too emotional. Use your brain. That's what you have it for. Other than to walk in the walls backwards. Using your brain backwards. You got your brain on backwards. Put it on correctly. Jarrell Freeman, I'm going to let you up right now. So so make this make sense. Mo, so cool. Biz0128, what's up? Stupidity is very contagious. Stupidity is very contagious. So you mean to tell me, Clay, you got Canelo Alvarez, and you got an issue with a venue, and it's going to take you 4 months to fix the venue issue with Canelo, and he going to be quiet, and you're going to push his fight back without a scheduled date in sight because of a venue.
It would never happen, man. It doesn't even. Listen, man. It's difficult. It's difficult to even accept it, even if it was, even if a bunch of platforms were saying it, I would still have my doubts in my mind about it. I would still feel like it's a cover up in some sort of way. It doesn't make any sense. The venue issues just sounds like something too light to fix. It doesn't sound like something that should get in the way to the point to where we don't have a date. We have an indefinite date. Like I think it's too small of a problem in comparison to like the solution. If they want the fight to happen at the Toyota Center, and there was some sort of miscommunication or some paperwork that was filed in the incorrect way or whatever have you, it just seems like something that would be able to get fixed in a decent amount of time, inside of 48, 72 hours, like, a decent amount of time that, just off the strength of how the magnitude of this event and of what it's supposed to be, you would think you would let nothing get in the way, especially something like a miscommunication. Now, if the venue just doesn't want to entertain the event, which I haven't heard about, then maybe you need to find another venue. But yeah, man, it's just to walk around confidently saying it's just a venue issue and leaving it at that seems it doesn't seem genuine. It seems disingenuous to just walk around believing that without asking more questions. I couldn't just walk around just telling people, oh, that fight ain't happening yet. There's some venue issues. What venue issue? I don't know. They just said venue issues. Who knows what it is? But you know how things go. So yeah, man, they don't know what date the fight's going to be now.
Because mistakes happen.
With a straight face. Mistakes happen. I don't know. It'd be hard for me to go with that.
Yo, can you imagine Canelo Alvarez fight being
yeah. They haven't even announced the next date yet. I'm saying they haven't even done that. Like, even if they would have been like, yo, there's a venue issue, and because of the venue issue, we're pushing the date from this date to that date. At least say that. How does a venue issue put you in limbo to not even know what date you're gonna do it? You know what I'm trying to say? Like, Blue, if you were to call me up and be like, you know what I'm saying, yo, we about to do this thing on Monday, but you know what I'm saying, I got a flat tire, so I have no idea when we're gonna do it now. Like, what? You can't just change the tire. How long is it going to take you? I mean, I have no idea. As 4 or 5 days pass, yeah, I'm still having a tire problem. Damn, bro. I mean, I could bring a tire over or go to the. Nah, man, it's not that. Just trust me. Just tire issues. I have no idea when we're going now. How about we use my car? Nah, I'll let you know, man. I got to get this tire fixed. 2 weeks later. And I'm using real time, right? It's been about like 2, 3 weeks. You know what I'm saying? That we've been talking about a venue issue and no solution. It just seems like something really insignificant to fix. Seems like just file the right paperwork, pay the right deposit. What's going on that date? Did anybody look? Is the Toyota Center finally put something else on that date?
I didn't even. It just.
That's what I'm saying.
It's pure comedy at this point. It's just pure comedy at this point. Like, bro.
It is what it is. I know people want to make it sound like we're going too deep into it. Maybe we are. I don't know. But I'm not finna be walking around here telling nobody that fighting happened because of no damn venue issue. I promise you. I'd rather say I just don't know what's going on, but I ain't doing that. I ain't telling nobody that.
But this is what I'm trying to tell people. All you gotta do is use your brain. What sounds more realistic to you? Doesn't it sound silly that people are telling you that one person told you it's a venue issue and you took it and ran with it because you wanted it to be a venue issue?
Yeah, I mean,
because you rather it be you want to prove blue wrong so bad that you're trying to. There is no substance. Where's the proof of what Dan Raphael said? None.
Yeah.
He just told you there was a venue issue, an issue with the venue. Really? What issue? Let me ask you a question, Clay. Just as a journalist, and because I got my brother in here, and salute Robert Chandler. 1 second. We got my brother Fight Hub Hayes, Mr. Hayes, Marcus Hayes is in the building. The best journalist in boxing. Salute to you, Mr. Hayes. Now, Mr. Hayes is in the building. He's a journalist. Never mind what I do. I have been in the field for years. And that's proven. I can pick up the phone and call the Bob Arons. I can pick up. Y'all know this for years. Never mind me. Mr. Hayes, let me ask you a question. You get on the phone and they tell you, Tank Davis fight is going to be postponed. And you say, what's the reasoning? And they say venue. What's the next question you going to ask? The obvious next question, you ain't even got to be in the field, Clay. You ain't even got to be a reporter, a journalist, or nothing. It's just common sense, right? If somebody say, you're going to say, what kind of issues?
Bang. Fight Hub, he just said it. You know what I'm saying? It's the truth. That's why I look at it when we talk about these things, or people ask me, I just look at them like, what do you want me to do, bro? Like I said, that debate wasn't even a debate. It was just like a counseling. It was like, yo, just you know, the idea that you're gonna say that I'm lying and making up stuff for what? For what in comparison to the information you're being given that you're using as.
So Clay, this brother's 2K said that everything you said he counted it. There's no countering debunk. He's using hypotheticals.
Right.
Well, it could be an issue with the money. Of course, it could be any issue. What issue did they say it is? Yeah, because the venue is available and it's never been booked. We know that. Well, you ain't speak to the same people Al Heyman spoke to. Well, that doesn't make sense. Because it's a venue that's a public venue that anybody can book if you have the money to book it. You don't have to be Al Heyman to book a venue. You can get a deal and a discount if you Al Heyman. But the venue, all you got to do is public information. You don't got to be lazy. Call the venue. That's all you got to do. Stop being lazy and call the venue. And take the necessary steps and ask them, is it available? And see if they say it's not available.
That's it.
And then you got the fighters they don't even know when it's happening. So let me get this straight, Clay. I'm Tank Davis. And salute to my brother Robert Chandler dropping that Cinco. Honestly, the super chat. Do you think the issue is due to Tank financially issues and Miami condo and foreclosure? He's demanding more money than the deal he signed with PBC. No, I just think that they don't have the budget to pay him. And I think that they need to pay him because he deserves to be paid, because they would not do this to Canelo Alvarez. They would not shortchange Canelo Alvarez. He ain't having it. So I'm saying, why would you try to take advantage of Tank Davis' loyalty? Because that's how I see it.
Oh yeah, because you guys definitely made him turn away a lot of opportunity to be
Right.
loyal to you guys. So you would think that would hold some weight.
Right. So don't try to take advantage of Tank Davis' loyalty because he's loyal to you guys, and Canelo's not. But you give Canelo what he's looking for.
Right.
But here's the thing, right? Now, Clay, imagine this. Imagine I'm Tank Davis. I'm trying to get another paycheck before the year is up. I want to get as many paychecks in this year as I possibly can.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Now, I said this. I said he wants to get a paycheck this year for his taxes and everything, right? He wants to get you want to get another check in the calendar year 2024. So he said, well, he could get that check in 2025 in January. It's not that far away. That's not the point.
Right.
Why would I get 2 checks in 2025 and only 1 check in 2024 when I could get 4 checks in 2 years?
Right.
You know he ain't gonna fight 3 times in 2025. So that means he got paid 1 time in 2 years. The Ryan Garcia fight was the last time he fought. It was a year till he fought Frank Martin.
Right. 14 months.
Right. So he got 1 paycheck then. Now he's going to wait another calendar. He got to wait another 8, 9 months to get another check. What are you talking about? It's just common sense. It's common sense. I want to get another check this year, and there's no guarantee he's going to get 2 checks next year.
Yeah.
So he wants to get paid right now. So make this make sense, Clay. Let's just use our common sense as grown people. Clay, I'm the manager, you the fighter.
Mm-hmm.
You say, bro, I'm trying to fight before the year is up. I say, no problem, I'm going to make it happen.
Right.
You trying to get paid. You promise, according to Tank, he says that he's going to get this massive deal from Amazon Prime. But people will tell me I'm lying and see no details about it.
Right.
But you telling me I'm lying. He didn't give you any details. When Canelo signed a massive deal, you saw the details. When Floyd signed a massive deal, you saw the details.
Mm-hmm.
When Mike Tyson signed, you saw the details. He's telling you he got a massive deal. You saw no details, but yet you talking about anybody that challenges it is lying or hating on him.
Yep.
Now, Clay, I say this. Then you say, I'm trying to fight. Then I call you back, Clay, and I said, hey, listen, man, we ain't going to fight because we having an issue with a venue. And we're going to leave. You leaving it as that, Clay?
No way. No way.
You said to get, Clay, you said to get at least $10 million. I tell you, we got an issue with the venue. You going to leave it as that?
No way. I don't believe it's being left like that.
Right. And then, Clay, you call me and say, hey, so when am I fighting? I'll be like, I don't know. Because if you say to the public, Clay, you don't even, Clay, if you tell the public, Clay, if you tell the public, I'm hearing I'm going to fight in January, that means you don't even know when you're fighting.
Right.
Which means I'm not giving you nothing solid to confirm. And then Lamont Roach just backed that up by saying,
I'm the last person to find out, and I'm hearing
I'm hearing it could be late January. As I told you, January 25th was the date. But Clay, we know that's not going to happen. How do we know that's not going to happen? Clay, let me tell you how we know January 25th is not going to happen. Because David Benavidez is set to fight David Morrell February 1st.
Right.
Tank ain't fighting a week before David Benavidez. They ain't gonna fight a week apart.
No. 2 pay-per-views back to back.
And one in 2 weeks.
No.
So either Tank gonna fight February 1st or David Benavidez, but David Benavidez is gonna fight February 1st.
They're probably not fighting until like March again.
But then they told us that Errol Spence was gonna fight October, November, December, January. Now they talking about March.
Oh, for Errol?
Yeah.
See? So I mean, maybe they're gonna put them on the same card.
So now make this make sense, Clay. You're supposed to get these millions of dollars, and I'm telling you, Clay, hey, I don't know, this venue is an issue, and you just be like, man, I don't know when I'm fighting. Because of the venue, something ain't right with you if you don't say, bro, what we got to do to fix this venue issue.
Right, but that's not happening because he knows why they're not. You know what I'm saying? Because it lines up with the theory of Tank is part of the reason why the fight's not happening in December.
Because here's more realistic. This is what I'm explaining. If I don't have the budget, Clay, and I come to Clay and I say, listen, the budget that you're looking for, I don't got it right now. But if you wait until a later date, I got something coming down the pipeline
early,
and then I'll be able to pay you the money that you're looking for. Isn't that more realistic? Now you're just like, all right, cool. You don't got the money. Let's push it back until I get another deal, another investor to be able to give us the money so that I can pay you the money I'm looking for. So just be patient with me, Clay. Isn't that more realistic? And Clay's like, all right, because I want X, Y, and Z.
100%.
But you think I could go to Tank Davis and be like, yo, bro, we have an issue with the venue. You think Tank Davis and his team, apart from the PBC, can't just call the venue and see if there's an issue with the venue and get it squared away? It's not that hard. This is not Chinese arithmetic, people.
Right.
This is not Chinese arithmetic. It's just not that hard. It's just not. You think that Tank Davis is going to sit idle because they telling him they got an issue with the venue and he's just accepting that? Man, make this make sense. So when you have a debate and an argument and somebody's saying, well, it could be the money, it could be that. There's no, what could you say? So again, it's like this. Like I said, when we was debating, I could say, that's like me saying the sky is blue and you like, nah, it's light blue. What's the argument?
Shouldn't be one.
Right. So that's my point, right, Clay? It's like you got to use your common sense in this situation. Just use your common sense. That's all. That's all it takes. If you think that Tank Davis ain't fighting in December because they told him that it's a venue issue and he just accepted that, then you think elephants fly. And you ain't giving Tank enough credit. Ain't no way on this green earth Tank gonna not get his tens of millions of dollars because we having an issue with the venue. Man, you better move the venue. Better move the venue.
Very interesting. It's a very interesting. It's not interesting actually. I'm lying. It's not interesting, but people just are. You know what I mean, listen, you guys making a bed, so I guess you're choosing to lay in it. You ready to down this hill, so down the hill, man. Stand on the hill and let it be the venue. It's the venue, guys. Things like this happen. Keep thinking that. Sooner or later, Tank will stop boxing. Sooner or later, things will keep on moving. You guys just remember that you stood on this crazy ass hill for no reason. You know what I'm saying? Like that's loyalty, boy. That's loyalty. I guess. I guess it's loyalty, man. It's loyalty.
Yeah, I mean, he's loyal to them as he should be, right? But
well, I mean, like the fans who want to die on a hill to throw shots, you know what I mean, over this topic when you gotta just look. Even if you want to say, I'm willing to compromise and hit common ground with it could be either. Even though I don't believe that, I don't think it could be the venue. I don't believe it. But fine. But to say one is to say that the money issues is completely far-fetched, that's not genuine. That's nonsense. That's when the exposing starts happening. When people are willing to do things like that, that's when the exposing starts happening about people and what they're really out here trying to do. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. That's just straight face. What is what it is. I'm not going to even argue with nobody or debate with nobody about it because it's not worth my time. Do you want to believe this venue? And God bless you. Genuinely.
Right.
My heart, like genuinely.
It just simply doesn't make sense. Like we just got to be. Come on.
Yeah, it's just like you want to think that way. But I know who. I mean, yeah. I just know the extent. Being in this boxing space and being in this content creation space, I know the extent people will go to win an argument, and that's why I don't like arguing or this quote unquote debating thing, because I know the extent will leave the actual assignment, which is trying to figure out what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Or trying to get some understanding of how both of us feel about what's going on. But when I know it's about winning, I know the extent will get extreme. I know that you'll start saying things that's so crazy, I'll just have to just concede because I can't go no more further with you. I'll just be like, all right, bro, you got it. I don't even want to, you know what I'm saying? You got it. All right, yep, that's what it is. Yeah, I got you, cooked you, told you couldn't yet. Yep. Because I got to start getting to the point when I start thinking about myself and how much is this affecting my life, how much money is it taking out of my pocket, or how much money is putting in my pocket. And I got to be okay with just being sane and let you have this win. Put it on your.
Clay, what you say? I gotta start putting my own self at.
Yeah, at some point you got to be like, you know what is this really getting me, bro? Fine, okay, it ain't getting us no fight, so fine, you got it.
Now, Clay, did you hear what Sean Porter said about Jaron Ennis?
Yeah.
What was your thoughts on that? And before we get there, let me get the super chat. Salute to Robert Chandler in the super chat, dropping that cinco on us in the super chat. Do you see Tank rehabbing his relationship with Turkey based on the money he demands? There's nothing left for his opponents in his legacy fights. I hope that down the line, you know what I'm saying, he rectifies it, because it only benefits him. It's just, hey, Clay, man, to me, it's just silly to me, because it only benefits him financially. Why wouldn't you want him to have a relationship with Turkey Al-Sheikh?
For your own personal needs. What's going to happen if that does happen, because I've thought about it, and if it does happen, what's going to happen is going to be more so looking like PBC is doing the deal and not Tank. So Tank will hide and sit safe behind the PBC, still keeping up not keeping it up. He's being loyal, and he'll be being loyal to the PBC, and he'll be working with the PBC and doing something for the PBC. It'll never be him shaking hands or conceding or leaving the PBC to go do business with do business with Turkey, which I'm okay with. You know what I'm saying? Ultimately, however the fight can be facilitated, go for it. But that's what it's going to be. It's going to, in my opinion, we'll see. We'll see what the details are. And I could be completely wrong. I am 100% speculating. So if this doesn't happen next year, I'm sure we'll have 100 people in here like, what happened to Tank and the PBC? I'm sure we'll hear all that. But genuinely speaking, that's what it'll be. I think it'll be a complete company thing. I think in a minute, they're going to have to make some hard decisions, man. This year was horrible. In the amount of fights that were put out there, absolutely horrible. And unless there's some big deal coming around the corner, some network deal, some additional help coming outside of Turkey, I don't know who else is really making themselves available to gamble like that on this deal structure, on this business structure and business model. It doesn't seem like it's really pushing, like it doesn't seem profitable. It doesn't seem profitable from the sense that a lot of networks and a lot of big companies aren't jumping at the opportunity to jump into the same business model structure as they had with Showtime. And in the business model structure they had with Showtime gave them a lot of wiggle room to put a lot of big events together and not necessarily be so concerned about this return on investment issue. And it seems like these other companies, including the one that they're with here, as far as Amazon is concerned, it seems like they're not on board. They're not completely buying into the process or buying into the idea of this money that they're going to make down the road. They seem like they want to be more so reimbursed and make money inside a decent amount of time. Like if not in this event, by the next event, I should have made money on the last event. And it seems like they're putting a freeze. They're revisiting something. They're revisiting some sort of marketing strategy, or they're revisiting some sort of like, they have to retouch the amount of money they're putting into it. So the only person I know that I see, and I don't know a lot of people in the game that has that type of what we're going to call staying power, right? We're going to call it staying power. And investing, when people are doing stocks and doing things of that nature, some guys have staying power. In other words, they can buy a stock, they can buy the stock, let's say $50 a share, and then the stock goes down to $30, $25 a share, and they have the staying power to hold that stock because they have enough money to make money in other places, and they can wait 2, 3, 4, 5 years for that stock to actually mature to something profitable, to get something $70 to $80 down the line and get something profitable out of it, where a lot of people don't have the staying power and they just have to take a loss and liquidate at $25 to $30 a share and take whatever money they got left to put into something else to build their portfolio back up. I hope I didn't go over too many heads when I said that, but just to say that Amazon doesn't look like they're willing to put the amount of money they need into this that would give them the staying power to deal with a slow growth, right? Spending a lot of money, paying Gervonta Tank Davis $20, $30 million a fight, paying Canelo Alvarez this amount of money, and then paying all these other fighters, knowing that at the end of the year, they're not going to be in the black, and they might not be in the black for another 3 to 5 years. So that means that they have to sign a deal, and ultimately, if they get too deep in the hole, they get trapped with the PBC, because now you've gotten into a situation where you might have to cut your losses because you might not want to go the rest of the way. So they have a real hard decision to make. Are we going to gamble on this and stay for the long run, 5 years, 5 to 10 years, and hopefully we make money at the end? Or do we care about boxing that much? Are we really trying to invest in boxing that way? The only person I see willing to invest in boxing with that mindset and willing to wait a while before they see that money is Turkey, a country that has a whole bunch of money, who's willing to be like, look, I think they allocated like close to like a couple of $1 billion. I don't know what the number is towards boxing, towards, you know what I'm saying, pushing what Turkey's doing right now with Riyadh season. So they're not caring. Everybody wants to point at them like they lost $10 million. They don't care, because it's not about now. They've had the staying power to see this thing through and change boxing completely, and then benefit from what boxing brings to their country, to tourism and everything like that. I mean, I'm not the biggest business guy in the world, but I can tell when somebody's just having second thoughts. They're looking at it like, you got to love boxing right now. You got to be passionate about the sport of boxing and have enough money to jump into a business deal like the way PBC runs it, the way they pay their fighters, to jump into that and gamble on making that money in the long run. Does Jeff Bezos like boxing like that? Do the executives at Amazon love boxing that way? They got into bed with the NFL. They got into bed with a couple of sporting events, but how much of a passion do they have for this sport to present that type of staying power up front, to give Al Heyman what he actually needs to pay these fighters who are used to being paid the highest price, the highest premium price possible to pay to make fights? This is why the other promoters were saying that this wasn't going to be sustainable, right? This is why Bob Arum and Rick Glazer and all those guys who everybody hates, who've been saying this for years, have been saying that the way that they do business, it's not sustainable. This is why that's why they're saying it. So now the Amazon has got to make a choice. Are we going to move like Showtime did? Move like HBO did? Move like USA? Move like CBS or NBC, whichever one? Move like all these companies who ultimately got out of these business deals in the hole. They walked away from these situations like, we're going to cut our losses. We're not going to continue to do this. Or are they going to gamble like things have changed? And then let's compound it. Let's add to the fact that back when Showtime was doing business with the PBC, pay-per-views were popping. Now everybody's stealing, streaming, doing all that stuff. So you have all these odds that are working against you, and you're going to go ahead and gamble and put obscene amount of money behind something, hoping that it comes to fruition later. We got to be honest. This is not hating on any boxer or promotional company, but we have to be honest about what we see. We can assess what we're looking at and be as unbiased as possible, and then we can say they have to open up the options. And how many options do they have? We'll find out. Time is going to tell us. What's in the dark will come to light. There's only so long this can move on like this before we get a real answer. We'll see. I know right now, presently, it's not looking too good. Things can change greatly next year. Maybe the budget opens up. Maybe another network jumps into the conversation. Maybe they find another way to push this out, because I'm telling you right now, they're trying to push this out, and they're trying to not change the pay structure for the fighters, because the fighters are sitting there waiting on getting paid top dollar. I know they are. Why? Because there's no reason for somebody to make $25 million for one fight, and all of a sudden you're trying to talk to them about making $2 to $5 million, $2 to $3 million in a fight. That's a hard sell, bro. That's a hard sell for Errol Spence to make as much money he just did with Terrence Crawford. Watch Terrence Crawford continue to make money with Turkey Al-Sheikh. Watch Canelo Alvarez get paid $20, $30 million an event, and then you're trying to tell him about how you need him to do you a favor, put his life on the line fight the most dangerous fighters that are out there for him, and you're trying to offer him less than $10 million for that fight. That's a hard sell.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing, right, Clay? Like, we're not into growing the sport. We're into favoritism. I like this company more than I like this company. I like this promoter. I like this. This is no longer a sport. The fun of the sport is taken out of it. It's now the air's out of the balloon. You know what I'm saying? The fun of the sport is gone now. And the fans have themselves to blame for it. They have removed the fun from the sport of boxing. It's no longer fun anymore.
Mm-hmm.
We had that big event with Keyshawn on Friday, and immediately it was just hate following it because a bunch of people that's Tank Davis fans just, oh, he's just clout chasing. He's this. It's just nasty work. It's just nasty work. You know what I'm saying? And no longer are the days that people are fans of the sport of boxing. I'm going to give you a quick update, right, Clay?
Sure.
Sugar Ray Leonard, in a 2-year span, Clay, back to back, he fought Wilfred Benitez, Roberto Duran twice, Davey Boy, and Tommy Hearns. In a 2-year span, Clay.
Yeah, man.
And we can't get these dudes to fight one of these top dudes in 5 years.
Right.
And yet the fans is here talking about you hating because you demanding. This is the era that I come from because I'm an actual fan of the sport of boxing. You're a fan of a fighter, so you don't know what it's like to be a fan of the sport. You Johnny come lately. Let me show you this, right, Clay? This is a true story. I'm going to give you a couple of fighters, history, and their fights in a short period of time compared to what's going on today's time. And these fans are complaining. It's just nasty work. We're not cut from the same cloth. We're two different types. In November, Clay, now just listen to the time span I'm about to give you. This Sugar Ray Leonard, right?
Right.
November 30th, that's damn near December, Clay.
Right.
He fought Wilfred Benitez, Sugar Ray Leonard.
What year was this? 19?
Huh?
What year was this? Okay, I got you. I'm good. Go ahead.
Yeah, 1979.
Right.
Wilfred Benitez was the champion undefeated.
Right.
38 wins, no losses, 1 draw. Wilfred Benitez was top 5 pound for pound best fighters in the world. He fought Wilfred Benitez November 30th of 79. Then March, 4 months later, he fights Davey Boy, who was 33 wins and 2 losses. Right? That's March, Clay. In June, 3 months later, he fights Roberto Duran. So in 7 months, he fought Wilfred Benitez, Davey Boy, and Roberto Duran in 7 months, Clay.
Right.
And then
keep moving. And then one more again.
Yeah, so then that was in June. Then in November, he fights Duran again.
Yup.
Again. So in 1 calendar year, from November to November, Sugar Ray Leonard fought Wilfred Benitez, Davey Boy, and Roberto Duran twice. Twice.
Can I add to it and say this? The difference
before you get to that. Then he fights in March. Another 4 months.
Right.
In March, after the Duran fight, in March, he fights Larry Bonds. Now, y'all don't know who Larry Bonds is. But then Larry Bonds was 29 wins with 3 losses. He fights Larry Bonds, right? Then in June again, he fights A.L. Kalu. They don't know who that is. Out of Africa.
Right.
Hard-hitting A.L. Kalu. Out of Africa. Yeah. In June again. Then in September.
Yeah.
3 months. Clay, 3 months. In September, he fights Tommy Hearns.
Right.
And y'all talking about we hating because we want to see the best fight the best.
Yeah, we're spoiled. And I think that's what it comes down to. And this was another pushback at the whole entire approach to paying these fighters these super paydays, right? For not fighting the biggest fights possible. Because now, the cost. This was the pushback that Rick Glazer and Bob Arum and Oscar De La Hoya and all these promoters were talking about with the sustainability of it, because not only was it not sustainable to continue to pay these fighters that way and still make it profitable for these networks, but B, it was also unsustainable to keep these guys busy because the money was too high. B, the fighters are starting to get their palates are changing, their taste buds are changing. It's not catfish and hush puppies no more. It's, I'm saying, prongs and the best lobsters that Maine has to offer, right? So now you have fighters who are sitting here waiting on these big paydays, and you got a company who really, in my opinion, can't afford to give them those paydays anymore and still put those events out there. That's what I believe. So now where are we at? We're in an era right now, and shout out to somebody in the chat who says he thinks that that the young guns are about to change it, that this next era of fighters are probably about to change it. I agree. I think that there's a new era of boxing coming up with a lot of young guys who look like they're going back towards a legacy, because you have somebody like Turkey who's giving them a lane to get to that, but he's making it to where it's aligning with tough matches, good matchups, championship level. That's why this Ring Magazine acquisition he just did was an interesting one, because now he's going to start having those award shows again, and start celebrating these fighters who are achieving the greatest accomplishments in the sport. So I think this next generation is going to do it. And that's why I also said on my show a little bit earlier today, when I was saying, like, my fear is that Tank Davis might be caught in the middle, in the transitional time from where he was getting paid top dollar to fight, where it didn't matter who he fought, to now it's mattering. Lamont Roach, the idea of the Lamont Roach fight just didn't go well with the money. It doesn't look like it went well with the people who are putting up the money, right? Like, it got to a point where the people who are putting up the money are listening to platforms like this. They're listening to the fans, and they're like, yo, they're not going to buy this pay-per-view. They're not interested in this fight. You're going to have to fight somebody worthy enough for us to recoup the money that you guys are saying that we need to put behind this fighter. So now he's kind of caught up in that era. I hope he makes the right decision and makes the biggest fights possible. But ultimately, boxing may move past him, right? With Tank, they might move past him. Like, Keyshawn said something significant as well when he said, "I don't need to fight you. I just want to fight you." That's a big statement. Lomachenko walked away from an opportunity to fight Tank Davis, was going to go into his quote unquote biggest payday, and walked away. Now, maybe people are trying to say that he thought he was going to get knocked out. He was going to get knocked out. That's your business if that's what you want to say. Shakur Stevenson is not banging at Tank's door like that no more, because Shakur Stevenson has options. These fighters all have options. Raul Venezuela casually walked away and said, "I'm going to fight Isak. I'm a 140-pound fighter." If the money is that intriguing there for these fighters to make that fight, and these fighters are genuinely just looking stupid walking away from their biggest paydays, or that it's not necessarily their biggest payday anymore. Necessarily, it could be a big payday, but it's not necessarily their biggest payday because there's other opportunities out there. I think the model is changing a little bit, and I got to agree with the gentleman in the chat who said that he thinks the next generation is going to change it, because it looks like it's going to happen. It looks like it's heading in that direction.
And the key detail I forgot to mention to y'all, when Sugar Ray fought Kalu, he went up to 54. And then fought Tommy Hearns at 47.
Right. Well, look, Amor, he said, "I don't need to fight you 3 times." And then he said, "Send me a contract." Yeah. but he's saying it. I mean, people could look into that for what it is, but what I heard was, I genuinely want to fight you. It's not about my biggest payday because I have paydays coming to me. I have superstardom coming to me. I'm going to make it regardless. I want to fight you for the right reasons, which is I want to whoop your ass. I'm a boxer. I want to fight you because I think I can beat you. This is not about me chasing my biggest payday and wanting to go get knocked out for money like other fighters may have done in the past with you. This is a genuine, I know who I am and I know I can give you this work.
Right. And see, that's the thing, right, Uncle Man? See, this is the problem with the fans of the sport of boxing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He's saying, I don't need to fight you financially. I want to fight you.
Right.
You're not paying attention because you're so caught up. We so caught up in optics and all of these other words. Oh, you clout chasing and you're caught up in these things instead of paying attention. He's saying, I don't need to fight you.
Right.
I want to fight you. There's a difference. You know, when you have a woman, right? And she say, I don't need you. I want you. There's a difference. Right. Or
like
vice
versa. I can take care of myself. I drive the nicest cars. I wear the finest clothes. I take the vacations. I don't want you for your money. I want you because I actually want you.
Right. I don't need you.
Right.
I want you. There's a difference. But again, we so caught up in this era talking about clout and how could it, and then the further, it just nasty work to me, man. But yeah, Clay. So when you heard Sean Porter's comments on Jaron Ennis, what's your thoughts on that?
I mean, I heard it and I wanted to listen to it again because it got painted up as if he was trying to throw shots at Jaron, which I don't think he was trying to do at all. But I do believe what he was speaking to, in my opinion, was just how important fighter development is, how important it is for fighters to get the right matchmaking, and that the lack of the correct matchmaking have fighters go stagnant. Only the best of the best, like Jaron Ennis happens to be a fighter who stays in the gym with his father, right? But I don't know how the training happens, right? But when you look at somebody like Terrence Crawford, right? I'm going to use him as an example to say that I don't think Terrence Crawford's ever going to genuinely digress. He's always going to get better because he believes he has bought into the process. He has bought into the idea of being the best fighter in the world, and he's honest with himself. That's why he can get in the ring with an Ismail Madrimov and fight him differently than he fought all the fighters. He's not buying. He doesn't think he's so much of the ish that he doesn't need to learn or adjust or get better. But fighters in general, without the correct matchmaking, which is why I love what Top Rank is doing with Abdullah Mason. People are looking down at Abdullah Mason for the stump he ran into getting knocked down. But I think that might have been one of the best things that ever happened to him. He walked out of that fight on the other side of that fight with a victory, but he also walked out with something to work on. He's going to get better because of that fight. He's not going to continue to just stay where he's at with the if it ain't broke, don't fix it idea. He made a mistake in that fight. He got comfortable because he was knocking a lot of people out back to back, and he got caught with something he probably shouldn't have got caught with by being a little reckless and a little too overconfident. It looks like to me Sean Porter was identifying that, saying that people were pushing Jaron Ennis to be this guy who's going to beat Terrence Crawford, who's going to beat Errol Spence, who could beat all these guys, and that he just was never truly properly tested. He was truly never properly tested and given the right match. And it's probably not Jaron Ennis's fault. More than likely, it's not Jaron Ennis's fault. Actually, it's probably factually not Jaron Ennis's fault. Let's say it like that, right? But the results are still the same, that Jaron Ennis didn't get to fight the fights that would have made him better. And now you put him in the ring with one of these Eastern European fighters. And I always keep telling you guys about these Eastern European fighters who's super, super, super high level, fundamentally sound fighters who understood and saw holes in Jaron Ennis's game, right? His team was able to strategize, see where they could take opportunities at, and they did take those opportunities. And so now Jaron Ennis got hit a little more than he should have been hit. Maybe some people might say a lot more than he should have been hit. But at the end of the day, he might have been a victim of a Cameron Duncan and a Showtime with Steven Espinosa, who were building him up and were protecting his O more than having him properly challenged. And then boom, now he looks the way he does. I still think it could be a blessing in disguise because he walked away with a victory. And if Bozie's honest, if there's some honesty happening over in that camp, which I have no reason to believe there isn't, They'll patch up the holes. They'll become Jaron Ennis will become a better fighter because of it. And that fight right there may have saved the rest of his career, because in the 154-pound weight class division, with the holes that he exposed himself against Karen, with a hard puncher, that lesson might have came in a very different way.
And like you said, he got hit a lot, but that's based off of the expectations, right?
Mm-hmm.
Salute to Robert Chandler, brother in the super chat, dropping that Cinco on the same super chat. When Roy Jones was coming up to eventually become the man, did he receive similar criticism, similar to Boots, because of their athletic gifts? Roy Jones got criticized for his resume, but no, it was different, man. It's a different time. It was a different time. Bloodshot 610, what's up, family? Brandon Bouchard, what's up? The Pull-Out Bandit, what's up? It was a different time. Country Q, Deuce 5, what's up?
Shout out to the Pull-Out Bandit. I see where you're coming from. I don't want to throw shots there, and I don't want to say that yet, but I'm going to let you know that what he just said there, I don't agree with that. I feel like Bozy isn't that good of a trainer. He nearly got Andy Cruz killed. I'm watching it. I'm paying attention, and these are the things that when the next fight comes up, I'm going to be watching. I want to see the adjustments. I want to see how Boots comes out. I want to see how Bozy is in the corner. I do want to see a couple things, but I'm not going to lie to you. Andy Cruz did fight a fight in his last fight against Antonio Moran that I felt like was like, he won, but I do think he took a lot of risks that he might not have needed to take. And also, I'll add Stephen Fulton's last fight as well as a fight where I was like, Stephen Fulton was fighting real aggressive, really pulling, punching, really trying to stop somebody that was probably a harder puncher than him on paper, and he did not look good. Now, I'm going to give the fact that Stephen Fulton was outside of the ring for over a year at this point, that his last fight was against Monster anyway, so maybe that was some ring rust. I am keeping my eye on it, but I'm not ready to pass judgment the way you just pushed out the judgment of Pull-Out Bandit, but I'm not foreign or in the dark to what you're saying right now. I am keeping my eye on it.
Yeah, so I mean, I've been in the camp with Bozy. I watched Boots train.
Mm-hmm.
I watched Bozy literally focus on defense. Have drills where he's just simply focusing on defense. Now, obviously, I'm not there every day through a 2-month camp.
Right.
But I did watch him focus on defense a lot, right? And my thing is that as the fighter at this point in stage in your career, there's adjustments that you should be making on your own as well in the ring, right? Remember, there were certain points in times in Floyd Mayweather's career where he just made the adjustment. You know what I'm saying? Remember, his father was telling him, hey, do X, Y, and Z. And Floyd is like, hey, it looked like this. You know what I'm saying? That's where your ring IQ comes into play as well.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Your ring IQ has to come into play at some point in time as well. And you have to say to yourself, all right, let me do X, Y, and Z because this ain't working. Right? It's eventually it's on you as well. Right? Because you can see things different in there than we see things on the outside.
Right.
So it's up to you to make the proper adjustment when you in the ring. And if you're not making a proper adjustment and you trying to fulfill a game plan that he clearly, let's say Bozy keeps telling him like he was telling him, get this dude up out of there, knock this dude out, right? Knock this dude out, man, while he's still here, right?
Mm-hmm.
His feedback was to be not in the moment, not to be present, to be looking in the crowd, to be talking in the crowd, talking to people, looking past them, right? Instead of telling Bozy, yeah, but you know what? He ain't doing X, Y, Z, he, this, and this. Where's the feedback from him? He has to, that's when his ring IQ has to kick in. He can't be a puppet, right? He got to be able to make his own decisions. He can't be a puppet. He got to be in a position where he could say, hey, you know what? That ain't working. So at some point in time, what I'm doing, my aggression and just coming forward, this ain't working.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So let me go ahead and let me make an adjustment. Let me fall back on fundamentals. Let me fall back on my jab. Let me slow this fight down. Let me make it a little bit boring. Right? Marcus Priest says Sean Porter sounding like a clown. Why does he sound like a clown? Because he's giving you a breakdown of what he sees. He said this. Sean Porter said this in 2022.
He did, man.
Sean Porter called this in 2022. Sean Porter says that, hey, this dude is being overrated and hasn't been tested. So why is he a clown? Again, we over dribble with these words, with these statements. We take these things and just run out of bounds with the ball. Keep it in play. How is Sean Porter a clown for what he said?
Yeah, man.
Clearly, Boots was in there with a guy that the expectations was he was supposed to blow him out. He got hit way too much, and history is telling us he's getting hit in these fights over and over and over again, and he keeps telling us that it's because he's not motivated by the level of opponents he's in the ring with. But again, I have to say this, right? You cannot play with your food. You supposed to, when you in there with a guy that's not on your level, you supposed to let it be known and be disciplined enough to show that there's levels. You not on my level. Floyd Mayweather didn't go in there and play with his food. It didn't matter who you was. He didn't go in there and be like, I'm not motivated tonight by this dude, so let me just half fight. You know, I ain't even worried about this dude. No. Floyd Mayweather went in there. It didn't matter who you was. You wasn't gonna put your hands on Floyd Mayweather. Period. You wasn't gonna put your hands on Floyd Mayweather, Clay. We have a handful of fights where Floyd Mayweather was getting hit a lot. The Cotto fight, the first Madonna fight, the Chop Chop Corley fight, and the Emmanuel Augustus fight. In the second fight with Augustus, the rematch, the second fight with Madonna, the second fight with Castillo, they ain't put their hands on him, Clay.
Mm-hmm.
They ain't put their hands on him. They ain't hit him. And people said it was boring then.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's an evolution coming. There's an opportunity for evolution for Boots, Bozy, the whole team. You know what I mean? I'm definitely not putting all the blame on Bozy at all. That's why I said what I said as far as to pull out Bandit, what he said. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm watching. You know what I mean? I saw things in this fight, and I want to see if the adjustments are in the next fight, whatever that looks like. And it looks like they're pushing for the Virgil Ortiz, that they're trying to get that together in February. We'll see. And I'm so excited to see that fight. But yeah, man, I'm not ready to throw out the baby with the bathwater. But there was definitely some I'm gonna say like blood in the water. The sharks are resurfacing, and like Brian Norman's, he's making his he's stating his claim that his son is going to take advantage of that and do a lot of damage to Boots Ennis. And look, man, they're going to come out and people are trying to jump at him and say he shouldn't do that, brother. That's part of the game, bro. Andy Cruz is throwing shots at Keyshawn right now, saying he was my son. Brian Norman is saying there's promotion there, there's a story there, there's a fight there, there's money there. Why not speak to it? And of course you're going to represent who you have vested interest in, which is your son. But Boots, this is a bad and a good thing. It's bad because of the way it looked, but it's good also because there seems to be a lot of opportunities opening up for him because of this. People are starting to see him as a human being and no longer like a superhuman Terminator, like a, you know what I'm saying? They feel like they can do something with him. That'll add to him getting the fights he wants to get, make it a little easier for him to get those fights. Maybe 147 might open up. Maybe those unification fights are there. I mean, it seems like Brian Norman is definitely interested in making the fight happen. And maybe the other two guys who may have been a little bit nervous, who weren't trying to get the fights, maybe they might see something they could take advantage of, and Boots can get somewhere near a decent unification, maybe even undisputed at 147. Then again, he goes up to 154. Opportunities open up there for him as well. You know, these fighters that are high risk, high reward. Now he's kind of hurt the risk thing a little bit. He's kind of done himself a favor. The risk isn't as high anymore, and the reward is there because Turki Al-Sheikh is willing to co-sign some big fights for him. So, but you know, it's up to him to make those guys wrong, to make all the naysayers wrong, to make Pull Out Bandit be like, damn, damn, Bozy really did a great job, and Boots is, it turned out it was just that fight. That's what it's all about. We're going to be here to question it. I hope he does work it out because I still think Boots is a great talent, but without a doubt, the risk that I've seen him taking between the David Avanesian fight and this fight, the risk, the throwing the defense to the wind so that he can give the crowd what they want, the talking with the crowd, the showboating, it's all cute until your eye get poked out. You know what I'm saying? It's all adorable until something bad happens, and then you're looking back at it, maybe with some regret, maybe not. I don't know. But we'll see.
And that's my thing, right? And salute to Donnie D, 1954, triple OG in the building in Super Chat. He said, RP, Kurt, we miss you, brother. Yes, sir. Salute to Mello, brother, in the Super Chat, dropping that Cinco on the Super Chat. Floyd be like, you a C+ fighter, and I'm going to show you. And he shows you. Mm-hmm. And so my thing is this, right, Clay? I don't blame Bozy at all because Boots Ennis is 27 with 33 fights.
Right.
27 with 33 fights. Right? So it's we only say these things when it's a tough fight, right? But at the end of the day, when he outclassed Roman Villa and dominated him, we didn't question anything.
Not at all.
Right? So in this situation, no, I'm not blaming Bozy. I'm blaming Boots. You ain't make the proper adjustment. You wasn't listening. You wasn't using your jab. Bozy can't tell you, can't force you to do anything. When you get in there, you got to use your jab. You got to understand. Let me use my jab to control distance, control range, and set up the knockout. That's what he said he was going to do. He was going to have fun. He was not going to force anything. He was going to let the fight come to him. He was trying to entertain the crowd. And another thing I said, right, Clay, is that I don't think he should fight in Philly anymore until he establishes.
I agree.
Until he establishes himself, Clay, and set himself up to be a world champion and settle himself down, because he's not settled. That's the thing I see that's different, right, Clay, is that he's not settled, right? He's too busy trying to live up to the hype instead of just allowing just be disciplined, just focus on his skill set, focus on fundamentals. It's okay to be a little bit vanilla. It's okay to be a little bit vanilla. It's okay to be a little bit boring. Set up the knockout. Use your jab. Control the pace. Control chaos. Effective aggression. He was missing too wide. He was missing too often. And the thing is, I wouldn't have an issue with it, right, Clay, if I didn't see him do the same things, similar things, in the first fight with Karen. He was missing wide and looping and sloppy offense at times with Karen in the first fight. He was getting hit with counter punches with Karen in the first fight. Mm-hmm. And now this time, the difference is Karen just completely settled all the way down, right? Yeah. And he was countering him way more. So it just showed Karen that I had more opportunities to land more punches if I did this the first time around.
100%. It was just it's called strategy, right? But Boots has to be, this was a great lesson for Boots, man. And maybe like I said, I'm not blaming nobody. I am watching though. I'm not going to act like I'm not. but I'm not blaming nobody. I am just gonna say that, and I'm gonna blame Boots. I'm gonna blame the fighter in this situation because he's the one in the ring. I agree with you on that, and I'm not gonna throw Bozy under the bus. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna watch because I saw things in there. I just want to see. I just want confirmation one way or the other. I think Bozy's a good coach, but I'm not knocking Bozy because of one bad fight, and I'm not really knocking him, but I'm gonna say that my eyes aren't on him because of one bad fight with Boots. It's on him because I've noticed a little pattern. I saw Stephen Fulton have the same issue. He was getting hit way too much. Andy Cruz, he got hit too much. He shouldn't have been up in there exchanging like that. He ended up stopping that guy, and he ended up working that out and looking great. And we can give Bozy credit for that as well, for how great he looked as far as in the victory. But I don't know if the Andy Cruz, who's very fundamentally sound with that high pedigree amateur background, that gold medalist, was he 2-time gold medalist? In the Olympics, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if he gets hit with that shot that Antonio Moran caught him with. You know what I'm saying? I think he's standing inside of there in that mid-range area. He's pulling, he's moving his head, and he's catching people, and it looks pretty when it looks pretty, but it looks really bad when it looks bad. And then Boots with David Avanesian, he got hit too much. A lot of people were complaining about that. Going into this fight, I wanted to see if he was going to patch those holes up. It didn't look like he was there. It didn't like he'd even consider the fact that Karen would be able to even execute on a game plan like that. But like you said, in the last fight, Karen saw that. He was able to land those counter shots. He was able to make those shots happen. He didn't take advantage of it and ended up getting shut out. So now with a good team who understands the fundamentals of boxing and understand what's out there, if they saw opportunities like, you know what, you don't need to run from this dude. You just need to, you know what I'm saying, keep your movement, keep the angles going on him, keep your head off the line, and guess what? There's also opportunities in there to hit him with short shots because he likes to hit you with wide shots. He likes to telegraph his shots a little bit and hit you with wide shots. If you can hit him before he hits you, then you're winning these exchanges. And he took advantage of him. That's something for him to fix in the next fight, and we'll see if he's able to do it.
Mm-hmm. I sent the link out. We got my brother Marcus Hayes in the building. What's up, Marcus?
Mark, what's good, family?
What's up? What's happening, fellas?
What's good, great brother?
Well.
Yo, so I said that Sean Porter sound like a clown because to me he went from one extreme to another. You know, first he said that, you know, Boots is Roy Jones 2.0, and you know, which was extreme. And then he went to the next extreme, you know, and pretty much saying that he, in my words, you know, he's not that good. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, it's literally one extreme to the next. It's like there is no middle ground. I mean, people got to understand too, like when you fighting somebody, I mean, Karen is not the sexy name in the ring, but, you know, he's a boxer too, you know, and that was his second time fighting Boots, you know, just like it was Boots' second time fighting him. So, you know, he had a game plan and you know, he knew what to do. I mean, we all agree that Boots has more talent. But at the end of the day, he's still, you know, fighting another, you know, grown professional boxer that's going to put up resistance. You know, he's not just there to be a sheep. You know, he's there to fight. You know, and that's what we've seen. You know, so yeah, Boots is a great talent. You know, but you know he hasn't fought a lot of opposition. You know, saying like great opposition. You know, he didn't even win his title. You know, he was given his title. So is he going to do great things to the sport? Absolutely. I believe so. You know, I'm a fan of his. You know, he's a homeboy. He's from the hometown. But, you know, at the end of the day, everybody is treating his performance like it's a loss. Like it's not easy fighting at home. You got your family, you got your friends, you got ticket obligations and people pulling you here, pulling you there. You're doing radio, you're doing TV, local TV and all that other stuff. So I agree with you 1,000%, Blue. He shouldn't fight at home for a minute. You know, I believe that's part of the problem, you know, but like I said, everybody's treating this win like it's a loss. And that happens a lot in boxing. Like, it just happens. That's all I got.
And so let me just say this, right? In response to what you were saying, what Sean Porter said, right? yeah, Sean Porter did go extreme, right, from one end to the other. But you got to remember in those times, right, that Boots was looking spectacular, and it's not. And this is the thing that people have to understand. It's not. They're basing this off of his physical gifts, right? His physical attributes with the size, the hand speed, the strength, the power, those things, right? There's a lot of fighters that put you in the mindset of other fighters, but they may not have the same discipline. They may not have the same passion or the same heart, right? But their talent can remind you of somebody else, right? To give you an example, when David Tua came into the sport of boxing, people instantly thought about Mike Tyson because of his style.
Right.
Right. Not that he was Mike Tyson, but because
his
of
stature.
His, right. His he put you in that mind frame. So Boots's physical attributes put you in the mindset of a Sugar Ray Leonard and a Tommy Hearn. And a Roy Jones. What he does with that talent and how he delivers it is a different story. You understand what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying perfectly, but I remember when we was in a pandemic and Sean Porter had a fight on television against a Caucasian fighter. I can't remember his name. That he should have got out of there. And it was a tough fight for him and went the distance. Like it had no business going the distance. He was supposed to knock that dude out. That happens in boxing.
Yeah, but the thing about it is, nobody ever considered Sean Porter on this level. You get what I'm telling you? Nobody nobody views Sean Porter as being, the next coming of Tommy Hearns.
But just because people say that don't mean it has to be that. Like Boots has amazing talent.
People may not say it, but what I'm saying is, okay, for instance, to give you an example, what I'm trying to tell you. Before he had one title fight, we was already in 90% of the boxing world was saying they want to see him fight the Errol Spencers and the Terrence Crawfords of the world.
Yeah, he's next up.
Right. So when Sean Porter was coming up, nobody viewed Sean Porter like that.
Yeah, I'm not comparing the two by any stretch of the imagination.
So what I'm telling you is the expectations is completely different. When you say Sean Porter was in there with a guy, right? But Sean Porter's expectations ain't the same as Jaron Boots Ennis's expectations. Makes sense?
Yeah, I hear you. But for that particular fight, it was, and like I said, Boots won. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he won, but he won. Yes. Did he win? Absolutely. But did he live up to the hype? No.
I mean, it was the same fight technically in the first few rounds. It was the same fight.
Right.
And we saw that. Here's the problem. When you are by the way, hello panel, hello gentlemen, how you guys?
My brother Devin Joseph, what's up, family?
Devin, what's good, family?
And hold on, Devin, before you get into that, hold on, Devin, let me get the super chat. Salute to Donnie D, Triple OG, brother in the super chat, dropping that Cinco on us in the super chat. At some point, could you play a Kurt clip? Sorry, sentimental. Oh yeah, for sure, man. I try to stay away from that Triple OG because it just puts me in a different place. But I definitely could put something together for sure. Well, go ahead, Devin.
Yeah, Marcus Priest. I just wanted to bounce in here to get your opinion on my opinion. I hear what you're saying, and I can't take away. I talk trash about Boots because I expect more from Boots, only because when you are saying you're at that level, when you're saying nobody can mess with you, when you want to call out the best of any division and say I'm ready, your performance has to say that too. And we have seen Boots now for 3 fights in a row. He's there as target practice for his opposition. When you fight the same person yes, we understand that they too know a little bit about what you're bringing to the table. But when you're a Boots and you have the expectations of a Boots Ennis, and you come in and you can't make adjustments, you're fighting the exact same fight against the exact same fighter that you fought last time, and you literally show us nothing different, that you learn nothing, and that you know how to put nothing. You don't know how to put anything together outside of, let me just bang with this dude because that's what I'm here to do. When you can't walk your opponent down all the time, and you have to put something together, kind of the same thing is, we said this. I think I was at Clay's channel the other day, and he was talking about Zay, which is Shakur's little cousin. You put a jab out there, and then you feed off of that jab. We've yet to see Boots stay with that game plan and then just demolish his opponent like he's supposed to. Why? Because we expect that of Boots. Is it a win? Yes, it's a win. But why people are taking it as a loss is because you haven't shown us that you have the ability to make the in-ring adjustments to be the great that you say you are. You're fighting the same fight over and over again. And eventually, somebody's going to hit harder than you believe they hit, or they just going to catch you slipping. It's a couple times Boots almost got sat on his pockets in this last fight. Rounds 2 through 4, multiple times, got hit, was like, oh shit, I just got hit. Excuse my language, OG. But if you're a Boots and we expect that of you, you calling out Crawford's, let me be honest. Do you really think that he can hang with a Crawford even now? Like right now, do you really think he can hang with a Crawford? If he's getting hit this much by these other guys, do you really believe that he has the ability to dominate the divisions he decides to step into, unless he makes the adjustments?
Is that a question you was asking me?
Yes, I'm asking you that.
No, I don't. I never thought that he's ready for Crawford. That's the thing about me. Like Boots is a great talent, and I'm leaving it at that. Like I don't put Boots on a pedestal like a lot of people do. Like he's up next, but at the same time, he still has a lot to prove. So am I comfortable with where he's at? Does he have a lot to work on? Yes. I said the same thing with the comparison to Crawford because he hasn't been in any fires, none whatsoever. Like he hasn't been in a ring with anybody close to the caliber of Crawford. So we're just looking at raw ability versus raw ability. Both of them can switch. Both of them can do this. We comparing attributes and things, but at the same time, when it comes to ring IQ and things of that nature, like, yeah, Crawford has it hands down. But like I said, I mean, he still has things to work on. Like a lot of people, like you use the word, we expect more of Boots, and he's like on this pedestal. Like I don't put him on the same pedestal that I guess you guys put him on. That's where we differ. Like when I say he's up next, yeah, he's up next, meaning like he's the fresh, young, new talent of boxing after the class of the Crawfords, and the Spence and the Charlos, and he's that next class of talent. You know what I'm saying? But as far as him being of that ilk yet, nah, you can't put him there. I mean, you can, but I don't.
Yeah. I think there was a lot of even listen with me. I'm a big Boots fan, man. And that's where
Me
it comes
too.
from. That's where it comes from as far as what might look like criticism. And I'm not really trying to criticize him, you know what I mean? But at the same time, I do want to be true to myself as far as my integrity and being honest about what I'm seeing, you know what I mean? And I did have a lot of hopes for Boots, and I still do have a lot of hopes for Boots as far as what his career is going to be. I think he's going to be a great fighter, but there was definitely lessons to be taken from this fight, as there should be from any fight. You should take away when you go back. You take your victory, but you should also look at the spaces where you came up short at, and develop those spots so they're not weaknesses anymore, like they showed up in that fight. But the whole entire space, the whole entire Philadelphia, for example, is putting a lot on Boots, right? They want Boots to. I just saw earlier today where Greg Hackett and why I said media. We're kind of getting into it. Brian Norman Sr. on Mill City's channel. Shout out to Mill City. And you know, they're fighting for him, you know, right? They're like, yo, you don't know what the hell you talking about. You think you know what I mean? They're doing what they're supposed to do, right? But at the end of the day, Boots, that's what happens, right? That's what happens when you come up short in a fight to a certain degree. You walked away with a victory, and you're right. People talk about it as if he lost, and he didn't lose, right? But that's just to show you the impact of what the eye test said for people when they saw Boots, and in comparison to what happened on Saturday night, there is a big conflict of ideas and things of that nature. Things are happening, and people are trying to come up with reasons and trying to justify and make sense of it all. But at the end of the day, right, the next fight will tell a better story, will give us a better idea of what we saw on Saturday night. His ability to adjust, close up those gaps, fight way more fundamentally sound, but at the same time, maybe not lose as much of his explosive sellability that he has to the boxing fan base, still be the big threat, still be the big puncher, still be devastating in the ring, but at the same time be a little bit more defensively sound, a little more defensively responsible. And I think he has the ability to do all those things. But this is where Sean Porter's perspective falls into place, where people might feel like he was being a hater, and I think what he was really just doing was just outlining how important matchmaking is, how these fighters develop based on their opponents. Even Boots said, you know, you put me into the ring with somebody who I can get up for, a better opponent, I'm going to fight better, right? So he's even letting you know that, you know, he in his own way is admitting to the space that he got comfortable based on the kind of opponents that were in front of him, and he was able to do whatever he wanted with them, and he was trying to have fun in there with opponents he probably didn't believe even deserved to be in the ring with him. But it looks like Karen got slept on, was a higher level opponent, and he let a lot of those bad habits and those things that he built up based on the matchmaking that he had bleed into a fight to where he needed to be fundamentally sound. And he ended up looking a certain way for it, right? And then now his fans saw him looking a certain way for it, and they're like, damn, hold up, his Boots. But you know, real boxing analysts are going to look at it and say, listen, man, like me personally, I'm going to be honest with you. That's why I keep on saying I'm waiting till the next fight before I give any type of judgment, because I know if the next fight is Virgil Ortiz, that he is going to get up for that fight. He knows how dangerous Virgil Ortiz can be. Virgil Ortiz is catching him with the shots that Karen was catching him with. It's a whole different conversation we're having today. And I think we can all be honest and say that, right? He doesn't need to be getting punched in the face the way Karen was catching him with shots. Virgil Ortiz has no business catching Boots Ennis with those type of shots. He's just a whole different level of puncher in a whole different weight class. So seeing him be able to go ahead and close those spots up, you know, will fix a whole lot of the doubt right now. But the doubt right now is reasonable. It is a reasonable. It's reasonable. It's not overextending. If you're throwing him out, you're bugging. But what Sean Porter did was being an honest analyst of boxing. He was just being honest at what he saw. It's up to Boots, Bozy, and that whole entire team to change that whole entire narrative by their performance in the next fight.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that totally. But, you know, like I said, the thing with Sean, you know, he went from one extreme to another. And that's the whole problem I had. You know what I'm saying?
But that's what I'm saying. He went to an extreme because of the ceiling, the potential, the physical gifts of Jaron Ennis is what he's comparing to Roy Jones. The physical size with the hand speed and the power, those physical gifts that he possesses is putting you in the mindset of Roy Jones 2.0, right?
Yeah, I mean,
now,
I feel
what you actually do with it in the ring is another thing. Do you understand? To give you another example, Michael Grant was supposed to be the next Lennox Lewis.
Why?
Big, 6'7" power puncher, right?
Stop.
He got the physical attributes, he got the talent, and he did nothing with it. You can't predict the mindset, the ring IQ, the heart. You can't predict that. You're just going off the physical gifts that you possess.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what a lot of people in boxing do. You know, they try to pick a fighter and say this gonna be the next so and so,
Right.
and it really doesn't work that way. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm pushing back on, Blue. And that was a great example. You know, with Michael Grant. You know, he's tall, he's long, and you look at him and you say Lennox Lewis. You know what I'm saying? But no, not even
Right.
remotely. You know what I'm saying? If you watch him box.
But the thing is, when you first seen him in his first couple of fights, he put you in the mindset of Lennox Lewis until he's actually in fights that count and he don't show up. And then you like, oh, well, he didn't live up to the hype. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand.
Right now in real time, right? Today's time. You have Carmel Moulton that puts people in the mindset of Tank Davis, right? You see Carmel Moulton, immediately people be like, man, this dude remind me of Tank Davis. Can he live up to what Tank Davis does? Is a whole different story. That don't mean he don't have the attributes to be like Tank Davis.
Yeah, but
actually doing it is something completely different. And so now if you get in there, you ain't got the mindset, you don't got the ring IQ. You know how many Floyd Mayweathers was supposed to be after Floyd Mayweather? This guy was supposed to be the next Floyd. That was supposed to be
Adrian Broner. Yeah, Adrian Broner.
But you can't predict the work ethic. You can't predict the ring IQ. You judging it based off of, and that goes for every sport. Every quarterback is going to be the next Tom Brady. Every basketball player with a great athlete that is going to be the next Michael Jordan, because they put you in that mindset with their athletic ability and they resemble him. But only Kobe Bryant actually did it.
Blue, can I say something to that?
Yes, sir, Yoga.
Only the intangibles in sports and combat, only the intangibles can be seen in the highest level of the competitions when the heat is turned up. When the heat is not turned up, you cannot see the intangibles of a fighter, of a basketball player, of a football player. You have to, when they get into the heat of the battle, then you see the intangibles as far as heart, determination, ring IQ, those different things. And I don't think Marcus has enough experience in debating and being an athlete himself to really know that. So what he's basing it off of is pure being a fan. He doesn't see what you're saying, but you're telling him understand that intangible piece that you cannot predict. You can only see it once they're in the heat of a battle. Then you'll see if they have that intangible piece.
Marcus, you were a water boy. That's what he said. He said.
Nah. What I'm saying is, you can't be a prisoner of the moment, and that's what a lot of people do. Is as soon as you attach a superstar's name to another up and coming fighter, people already look at them as that. So you actually attaching Floyd to Adrian Broner. You know what I'm saying? And I agree with you 1,000%. He hadn't been through those wars. You know what I'm saying? He hasn't done what Floyd done. But, you know, anybody who will roll out with a Philly shell or whatever who's a welterweight, all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying, they're Floyd. So in real time, people do that. You know what I'm saying? They attach that already established star fighter to the up-and-coming fighter, and they see them as that, and they hadn't even proven themselves. And that's why I'm saying I don't put Boots on that kind of pedestal. I'm letting Boots be Boots. I'm not looking at Boots to be Hearns or, you know what I'm saying, or Crawford, you know what I'm saying, because he can switch and everything else. Like I'm not doing that. I understand you can make that comparison or whatever, but what y'all fail to understand what I'm saying is that comparison literally sticks and follows those fighters, you know what I'm saying, throughout their career. And when they do fall short, then they're a bust. You know what I'm saying? And they get compared.
I have to strongly disagree. Every fighter that has shown promise at a young age, they always attach them to the fighter or the style of fighter with previous generations. They did the same thing with Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, what's his name with the grill?
Who's Zab?
No.
You said with the
The
grill?
big guy with the grill, George Foreman grill.
Oh
Every
yeah.
fighter, every fighter that showed promise when they was young, they always attached them to the greatest fighter who considered the standard fighter that previous generation. When Ali was young, they were saying, "Is he gonna be the next Joe Louis?"
But that don't make it right.
Hold on, I didn't say that, but I'm just saying that this is a
That's
thing that
what I'm
people
saying. I
do.
didn't say you
Hold
said
on,
that.
hold on, listen to my point. Hold on, listen to my point. This is something that's done in all aspects of competition. So when the person fails, that doesn't mean that they're a bust. What it does is it highlights that that person has a skill level, but not yet proven. So it's that, and everybody knows that when they say, "Oh man, that's a young Deion Sanders," that means that he has the skill level, but he's not yet proven it. It builds the anticipation to see what they're gonna do when they receive the right proper competition. So that's a part of that's a part. It's somewhat a compliment, but it's a compliment with a contingency tied onto it. Hey, that's the next young Mike Tyson. That means that this guy showed promise and showed a physical ability, but we wait for him to get into the fire. You don't see it that way, Mike Marcus?
Nah, I really don't. I understand
Well,
what you're saying, but I
hold
just
on, hold
see
on,
it.
hold on. You might need to go to the eye doctor and the ear doctor, and you might be socially disconnected from real fighting and real boxing as a fan. So you need to get a fan checkup. The Modelo said they're looking for a better fan.
Because I
You
don't,
got to be a
because
better
I don't
fan,
agree with you.
Marcus.
Why? Because I don't agree with you. I need to do all
Because
that.
of the way, because of what you actually saying. Everybody that played ball or played some type of competition, we all know when we see somebody, we like, oh man, he look like the next Larry Bird. That means that we're giving him props that we see that they had a physical style and the physical attributes, but they not yet tested. Everybody knows this. So for you to not even to even line up vibe with that, that makes me kind of see like where you offer some of your sports arguments.
Nah, what I'm saying is I understand what you're saying. I just personally don't agree with that point.
So you doing like you did on the last
Yoga,
time you was on the panel.
yoga,
You kind of debating just to debate.
yoga. Now, what he's
No,
saying, yoga, is he's saying he understands that that's the way sports are talked about, and that's how we compare. But what he's saying is we should not do that because each individual is their own individual, and when we do that, we're just putting those legacies on that have not yet earned it, and they have their own legacy, and we shouldn't be necessarily. He knows that we
Oh,
do
okay,
it.
I get it. Well, that goes against human
thank you,
nature
sir. Thank you,
because
sir.
we all as humans we do something because we saw somebody else do it. You feel me?
Right. And the thing is with that is this, right? Here's the thing about it. Then you wouldn't have scouts. The scouts typically, okay, to give you an example, in the NFL, they have, when you go to the NFL and they scout college players, right? They have a ceiling which is compared to another player to give you an idea of his abilities, is like what Yoga is saying, right? This gives you an idea of his physical abilities. What's his ceiling? His ceiling can be his ring IQ, his accuracy, his understanding of the game can be Tom Brady-ish. What's his low? His low could be dude Bowles from the Jaguars, right? Because he got those attributes, but does he have the work ethic? Does he have the want? Does he have the love? Does he have the passion? Does he have the, you understand? So this is the NFL. Running backs, right? His attributes, right? Size, so on and so forth. Puts you in who? They'll say Derrick Henry. Hands in the build, right? Because you have to have something to gauge it off of. You
I
understand?
understand.
In,
Yeah, I
in
understand.
business, they do the same thing in business, Blue. They based off the projections for the company based off of what the profits was the previous year. And then they calculate how much they want to grow based off of what the company did in the past. You know?
Right,
And
exactly.
that's how we got like records. We got who threw the most yards, who had the most runs, who had the most knockouts, who had the fastest knockouts. So we can have something to gauge it to. It seems like Marcus is totally detached from any type of measurement to predict future and past activity. That's what we do in life. You test yourself. You do 10 push-ups one day, Then the next day you try to do 20 push-ups. Or you try to lift more weight. Have you ever did that, Marcus? Lift 100 pounds, then the next day try to lift 125 or 150. You went through that before?
That's not the same thing, sir.
I think
That's not the same thing. What we're talking about.
I just want to tap in. Let me just tap in and say this, right? Just to say that I'm trying to like gauge what you're saying, Marcus, as well. And because I understand where Yoga's coming from, but I'm just trying to properly gauge what you're saying, so I don't, put a jacket on you that's not supposed to be there or whatever. I'm trying to be, fair and unbiased about it, to say that it seems like you're confused as to why people are making such a big deal at Boots' performance on Saturday. And you're basically saying that guys were having too high of an expectation of Boots is the reason why they're in the situation that they're in. If they would have been more honest and not put so much on Boots, then they wouldn't have put so much weight on the performance he had on Saturday. Is that right?
No, I'm just saying that this happens in boxing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no. Wait. I understand this happens in boxing, right? I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, it sounds like you were kind of pushing back at the amount of attention or weight being put on one performance by Jaron Boots Ennis on Saturday. Are you not putting weight on that? Okay, yeah, thank you. Yeah. Okay, so what Yoga is saying, in my opinion, is that
I would call it a one-off. I would call it a one-off.
Okay, and what Yoga's trying to say is that they're gonna, your last performance, right? On a performance like that, and it's not just based off one performance. If we're going to be honest, the David Avanesian fight, he also was getting hit a lot in that fight, right? So, but at the end of the day, it's the prospect, or it's the it's the projected space that we're expecting Boots to be at, the kind of fighter they were comparing him to. They at one point, people were saying that he was going to beat the pound for pound best fighter in the world in Terrence Crawford, right? They were saying that this guy was going to do this. So when you see a performance with Boots Ennis, and this is any fighter that's a great fighter, right? Only the great fighters have these quote unquote issues. The great fighters get judged on a different scale than the average fighters. So when you're looking at Boots fight in a match, immediately everything starts to become, what does that version of Boots look like against who they're comparing him to? That's what it becomes. Oh, they were comparing him to Roy Jones. Well, let's see where Roy Jones was at this part in his career and how he would have handled the situation. Or they're saying he would have beat Terrence Crawford, or they're projecting that he's going to beat Virgil Ortiz. Well, how does this version of Boots that we see in the ring compare against these fighters that we're all projecting that we need to see him against? So it's a good thing and a bad thing. This is what comes with being great. Very similar to Tank Davis. Tank Davis is a fighter who's on a people's pound for pound list. They think he's the face of boxing, so he's going to be compared to different fighters than somebody like, let's say, a Karen. Karen won on Saturday without winning, right? Inside of a loss, Karen won the fight because of what his projection.
He did better than he should. Yeah,
right, because of his projection of who we thought he was. It's like, damn, Karen. Right, but he actually took an L, whereas Boots won, but a lot of people feel like he damn near took an L, because although he won, we saw a lot of holes in this game, and we're not thinking about how he performed against Karen for Karen's sake. We're talking about, how does that Boots look like in 154 pounds? How does that Boots look like in front of Virgil, in front of Ismail Majmov, in front of Bakram Murder Zaliev, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what's happening. I think Yoga's just trying to tap into the idea that this is actually natural for people to feel this way. There's nothing far-fetched about people comparing Boots' history, Boots, great fighters to Boots.
Clay.
This is what great fighters get compared to.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's far-fetched at all. Like I said, I understand what y'all saying.
It goes
great. You know what I'm saying? My whole thing is just like, just let it be. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you have a channel,
but
Blue has a channel.
But Marcus, if that's the case, then we don't have a sport.
Right. This is like 3 days away from the
fight. It goes back to
back 3 months. The 3 months have passed, and we're kicking his back in still. Like, we're hanging on it, like we're talking about it too much or something. I don't know. It's just kind of weird. I don't know.
I got a debate.
No, go ahead, Carl. Yeah, you.
All right, look, I wanted to say, hey, Clay. Yeah, this goes back to what we were talking about earlier. You know what I mean? Like, Boots was in a fight, and I like what somebody said earlier.
Boots ain't the like. I hate that too when people say the next person that's coming. He the next Floyd. He the next what's going. Boots is the next Boots.
Thank
Boots
you.
was in a fight. Karen could fight. Looking at Karen last night, every last one of y'all on this panel, how many welterweights y'all got beating Karen? That version of Karen. With the footwork, moving, punching off the move. Like, for real, Karen showed that he can fight. Only thing Karen did this time, different from the first time, he moved a little bit more. This time, if he was catching boots with some shots the first fight. But he wasn't dedicating himself to really land those shots. This one, he really tried to win. Boots is just that good. Cameron just put Boots in a fight. A fight that nobody didn't think that Cameron had in him. Because we all knew Boots had dog in him. We didn't think that Cameron had it in him. And Cameron showed us that he got it in him.
Yeah,
Right.
but the thing is, go ahead.
THS last in the chat, right? I understand where you're coming from to a degree, right? And then I think earlier you said something along the lines of Boots didn't knock him out, like we're judging him based on the fact that he didn't knock this dude out. And it's not even judging him, because I hate to be in a position to look like I'm judging him that badly, right? I think this is something that's very easy fix. I believe him that, the competition makes a difference, that he might not have got up for this fight the way he should have got up for this fight. But he's not getting criticism because he didn't stop Karen. He's getting criticism because he got punched too much, that he got hit too much. They're questioning his defense. They're questioning his movement, his ability to hit and not get hit. And the reason why they're questioning it is because he's going up to 154 pounds, which might be the most competitive division in boxing today. And there's a lot of punchers up there, right? So people are questioning his ability to not get his punch as frequently as he got punched before. It's not throwing him away and saying that he's a trash fighter. There are people out there who are using this opportunity to say that, but I don't think anybody on this panel that has talked about Boots' performance on Saturday is throwing him away. But I don't think there's anything wrong with speaking to what actually happened in that fight and asking questions about what that version of Boots looks like against people at 154, this highly competitive division. I think it's quite normal. I don't know why people are taking it to the point of Boots' back is getting kicked in. I think it's kind of weird that it's going all the way there. I think there's a middle ground of keeping it 100 where you can give somebody their flowers, but at the same time, fairly analyze a fight that just happened and call out what you feel like were the shortcomings of a fighter in there. I did it for Abdullah Mason, right? I'm going to do it for I did it for Devin Haney when he fought against Ryan Garcia, even though people pushed back at it and said Ryan Garcia was on PEDs. I said he was on PEDs, but Devin Haney also didn't put his hand, that right hand up. He also was way too aggressive. We can keep it honest and still celebrate these fighters and keep these fighters where they're supposed to be, which is in a respectful spot with high accolades. But if we're going to talk about the future of these fighters and be honest and compare them to the fighters that they have to fight against, then you're going to get takes like what Sean Porter did today. You're going to get honesty, and people got to learn to deal with that stuff. It don't got to be that serious.
Well,
Yeah,
Clint,
and the thing
nobody
is,
said,
the ultimate thing is this, right? And peace West and the Queen Monica, peace West, Clint. So people got to understand, right? We're not talking about, yeah, Karen could have been better, and Karen was a good fighter, so on and so forth. What we're talking about is the opportunities and the flaws that he presented, that Boots showcased. It's not how good Karen was, right? Marcus Maidana is good, but you saw the difference.
But
in
Blue,
the
that's discrediting Karen.
That's not discrediting.
But
Karen.
Blue, that's discrediting Karen.
Listen,
because look, Karen got himself back in his position, Blue. Karen got himself back in his position. He his last three fights after losing to Boots was 2 knockouts in a win.
Carl, listen what I'm saying. Listen what I'm saying. It's not discrediting Karen.
If we gonna get Magic Mall that, we gotta get Karen. I'm just saying, y'all said Magic Mall was the best thing smoking at 140, 154.
Okay, listen what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying.
No, I'm listening.
It's not discrediting Karen. Okay, It's a testament to the skill set, the talent. There's two different talents. Again, when Floyd fought Marcos Maidana and when he fought Jose Luis Castillo the first time, he had a completely different fight in the second fight. It had nothing to do with discrediting Marcos Maidana or Castillo. It had everything to do with the adjustments that Floyd Mayweather made. This was the second time Jaron Ennis fought him. He already went 12 rounds with him. So we had 24 rounds, and Karen is the one that made the adjustment, and Boots still looked the same. Karen
And
fought
that's
the same. He fought a completely different way the first fight than he did the second fight. The person that we're talking about is just, it's not, just listen, bro. It's not discrediting Karen. It's talking about what you see what Floyd did in a rematch with Marcos Maidana. It's not discrediting Marcos Maidana and what Maidana did. Maidana beat he almost knocked out Amir Khan. He beat Adrian Broner. He had a tough fight with Floyd the first time. The second time, it's not discredit. Why are you shaking your head? No, brother.
I can't. I'm gonna wait till I talk. That's what, Blue. I'm just disagreeing with you. That's all. Like, me, you ain't beef. We ain't got no beef.
But it has nothing to do.
I'm just disagreeing with you. That's all, Blue.
It has nothing to do with. It has nothing to do with discrediting Karen. It has everything to do with the adjustments that Boots was supposed to make, not Karen. Boots is the better talent. Boots is the better skill set. Boots has the better talent. He has the better skill set. He's the better athlete. Okay, so in the rematch, it's expected that Boots, who's the favorite, who Boots is the favorite, he was supposed to make an adjustment and look different. He didn't.
Blue.
It's not discrediting Karen.
But look, when Cameron was using his angles, I watch boxing. When Cameron was using his angles, for real, he was using them angles on Boots, and it wasn't nothing Boots could do about it. That dude could fight. That's all I'm saying. I'm not.
Marcos Maidana could fight. Floyd made the adjustment, brother. Let me ask you
I'm talking about the way they fought,
bro. We're talking about
that dude used the angles.
Nobody's talking about Cameron being a great, brother. Nobody's talking about Cameron being a great.
Saying, I know. That's the problem that somebody was just talking about a little while ago, though, Blue. That's the problem somebody was just saying a little while ago. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not. You like I'm coming at you. I'm talking about.
Okay, listen to what I'm telling you. Listen to what I'm telling you. We're projecting Boots to be an all-time great. Are you understanding what I'm saying? We're not projecting Karen to be an all-time great. So let me just listen. When you saw rematches, Lennox Lewis got knocked out by Hasim Rahman. Did you see the adjustment Lennox Lewis made and knocked out? It wasn't a close fight, and then he knocked Hasim Rahman out. The first fight, Sugar Ray Leonard lost to Roberto Duran. He made an adjustment the second fight, and he made Roberto Duran quit. Floyd Mayweather had an arguably tough fight with Marcos Maidana and Castillo. He made that you being argumentative instead of listening. That's the problem. I'm
just saying this Boots and Cameron, you can't do that for every fight, bro.
Brother, we're talking about.
That's all I'm saying. I said this Boots.
Okay, listen to what I'm saying. We're projecting Boots to be an all-time great. Do you understand? So we're saying.
I'm looking at boxing. I once he was in a fight, I said, "Oh, that dude can fight." I said, "I said Karen can fight." Let me ask you a
question. Can Marcos Maidana fight? Marcos Maidana can't fight.
Blue, you what you doing right? That's really like night and apple and orange. Because that fight happened, and that's two different fighters, and this fight happened too.
You Marcos Maidana fight. Marcos Maidana can't fight.
But Blue, look what you're trying to do. Look what you just said. Don't walk me down the block. You already did your exercise. You can see I'm in shape, so I do a little exercise every now and then. So you don't need to walk me either, Blue. All I'm saying is that Cameron showed us that he can fight. Cameron was using angles on Boots and Boots.
Brother, you're not. Listen.
That's all I said. I said Cameron showed you that he can fight.
Listen to what I'm telling you. Karen is not projected to be an all-time great.
I'm listening.
We're projecting Jaron Ennis to be an all-time great. So nobody said Karen can't fight. We're talking about Jaron Ennis showing that there's level. Do you understand what I'm talking about? It don't matter how good Karen can fight. We're expecting Jaron Ennis to bro, just listen. We don't. It doesn't matter how good Cameron
All
can
right.
fight.
So
We're
it's not-
projecting. We're projecting Jaron Boots Ennis to be an all-time great. You never predicted Cameron or projected him to be an all-time great. Nobody said he can't fight. We're saying that in the rematch, they already fought 12 rounds. So we're saying in a rematch that we expecting Jaron Ennis to make an adjustment and separate himself.
Right.
You're still talking about what Jaron Ennis, Cameron could fight. And nobody said he couldn't fight. Just like I just told you. You're not listening.
I
said Marcos Madonna can fight. I
but Blue, I never get fucked out.
Roberto Duran can
No, I
fight.
never get
We're
fucked out
not
to say
saying
that.
that they can't fight. Listen, just listen, brother. Just listen.
Blue,
Bro, if you
all
just
I'm saying
listen,
is Cameron only comes to him. So all I'm saying, you making it seem like what I'm saying is so far fetched, like Carl
No,
Bryant.
you're not.
Can you listen, brother? Brother, can you
Carl,
listen?
Carl,
Just listen, brother.
Carl, you're not listening. I'm being honest.
I'm
Listen, right?
listening. Man,
No,
y'all
you're
do
not.
man.
You can't listen.
They emotional. They got
Yeah,
emotional.
Chill out. Hey,
They
man,
emotional.
Hey, hold on. Carl, just listen
Yo,
for a second.
man.
He's not this. Listen,
I
listen,
get it. But the
he's
whole
not
dude talking on the
knocking what you're
sideline,
saying.
I'm you. Hey, Blue, go ahead, Blue.
Wait,
I
Carl, listen.
understand. Go ahead, Blue. Blue, I definitely understand what you talk about.
Hold on,
But you know me, I'm
Carl.
always going to put my, you know I'm going to push
hold
back
on a
ASAP.
second. No,
You know
Carl,
that.
give it a second.
I ain't
Give it a second. Let's hear what's going on right here, right? He's not knocking or throwing away what you're saying.
Right.
He's acknowledging that Karen is a great fighter and that Karen fought a great fight. But what he's saying to you at the same time is Boots is projected to be the kind of fighter who they're expecting if he's fought a fighter before and wasn't able to properly execute a game plan or had some holes in the game, that he would patch those holes up and come even better the next fight. And then he gave you examples of when Floyd Mayweather fought Marcos Maidana, the way that fight looked like the first time. Floyd was able to take that data, process it, come into the second fight with a strategy that separated him from Marcos Maidana. And in this case scenario, Boots went into a fight with Karen. The first one, they said he looked weak in that fight, even though he won, but he came in the second fight and looked even, to what a lot of people would say, even weaker because Karen actually won rounds. So look, whether that's legitimate or whatever have you, this is what people are judging Boots on based on the way they judge the great fighter.
Can I say this then? Can I say this on top of that then? Like just to come to an even ground? And
Okay.
all I could say, my pushback on that, and it's not even I'm looking for some pushback, but my pushback on that is real legit that Marcos Maidana fought the same exact style the first and the second fight. The thing with Karen ran, I ain't gonna say ran, Karen moved a lot the first fight, and Karen fought this fight. So that was two different fights that he had. So that's my pushback on that. We know what Marcos Maidana was coming with in the second fight. We thought we knew what Karen was coming with in the second fight, but Karen showed everybody that it was totally different. He came with a totally different game plan. That's all I'm saying. I ain't coming at saying Blue wrong. Blue could be 100% right. I could be 100% right. I could be 100% wrong. Blue could be 100% wrong. All I'm saying is that from what I'm saying, that Karen did go on a winning streak. No matter we can't say we don't know those guys that he fought, because a lot of the guys that we just talk about, the big timers, the big names, we don't know half of the
Well, he
guys
just
that
lost
they fought.
though, right? He lost
You
the
know what I mean?
Boots.
So Karen probably is one of those. It just maybe he can't beat Boots in a fight unless he knocks Boots out. Maybe it takes like a Boots to beat him. I'm just saying, you get what I'm saying?
The point is the talent level.
I can rock with it. I can rock with the idea that Karen came different. That I can rock with that. I think that can coexist. But regardless, Boots is still going to be held at a high standard. It just is what it is because of the level of fighter that they're projecting him to be. But I will acknowledge what you just said. I'm not going to not acknowledge. I'm going to acknowledge that, yeah, Karen did come differently than he did in the last fight. So what Boots might have worked on to stop Karen from doing what he did in the first fight might not have applied to the second fight because of the different style that Karen brought to the fight. I can hear that.
Right, but it's still involved.
They're not call that Keyshawn Davis fight to a T.
It's still
like
we're not going to move the goalposts right now. Let Blue
No. I just wanted to say that, but did not call that to a T though. Did not.
I'm not answering that question.
I said exactly what. No, come on, man.
Still in all, Jaron Boots Ennis has the talent to make the adjustment to whatever Cameron brings to the ring. That's the
Right.
difference. Salute to Mr. Coley, like I see it,
yeah,
brother in the super chat,
right.
dropping that Cinco on the super chat. Ayo, Carl, if Crawford fight, manage him off again and don't do better. I'm going to question Crawford for not making adjustments. That's the point. Because we're not talking about Karen being a good fighter or not being a good fighter. We're talking about Crawford being an all-time great. We're talking about Jaron Ennis being an all-time great, right? We're talking about these dudes having the talent. When they have rematches, when all-time greats have rematches, they look different in the rematches. They separate themselves. That don't mean that their opposition is not a good fighter. It doesn't mean that the opposition. I think Rockman is a good fighter. When Lennox Lewis made the adjustment in the rematch and he dominated the rematch. When Sugar Ray Leonard fought Roberto Duran, who was a great fighter. Roberto Duran was a great fighter, not a good fighter, not a solid fighter. He was an all-time great. Sugar Ray Leonard made the adjustment and he made him quit. Okay? When Floyd Mayweather fought Maidana and Castillo, right? And when he fought Maidana and Castillo, he had tough fights in the first fight. He separated himself in the second fight. It don't look close. It don't look the same, right? So that's the reason why Floyd Mayweather said this. Floyd Mayweather said this, right? He said, y'all calling for the rematch, it's not going to look the same. It's entertaining now, but when I make the adjustment, it's not going to look the same. We expect Jaron Ennis with his talent and his skill set to separate himself from like oil and water from Karen Chugajin, period.
That's a fact.
So Blue, what was Boots making an adjustment to? You get what I'm talking about?
No,
He was making an adjustment. He was making adjustments ready to cut the ring.
A champion,
I'm just saying,
a great fighter, a great fighter, a fighter like what. And we keep in mind, we're holding Jaron Ennis to a very high standard. I want you to understand that. It might even be unfair to some people to thinking of us holding him to the standard, but it's just how great of a fighter we think he has the potential to be, right? But we're holding him to this, and what we're saying is, all right, you came into the ring. The game plan you had was based on Karen fighting a certain way. Karen made it clear he wasn't going to fight that way in round one. Ding, 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 ding. Right. He stepped directly to Boots to the point to where Boots
but
actually...
Clay, my bad. But Clay, check this out.
Hold on. To the point where Boots stepped back. Like, damn, this dude is really stepping to me, right? So a fighter like Floyd Mayweather or Sugar Ray Leonard or these fighters who we're comparing him to would have adjusted to the new Karen that been in the ring and would have been able to adjust. It seemed as if Boots wasn't able to adjust. It seemed as if he force-fed the game plan, was going for the knockout because Karen was standing there and didn't adjust. He didn't read the room properly and adjust what was happening, and it seemed like he was having a difficult time there. Not only did it seem like he was having a difficult time there, but it seemed like the corner had a difficult time getting him to go there and adjust as well. It seemed like he was just stuck on fighting a certain way, and he couldn't adjust to what was happening inside of the ring.
I don't like what Dad was saying.
Salute to my brother Blade Brown in the super chat.
I don't like what Dad was saying. I ain't even gonna hold you. I don't like what Dad was saying.
He said Boots still should have adjusted during the fight. Exactly. That's the point. The point is that his talent says that he's supposed to make the proper adjustment to separate himself from that opponent. Period.
But he had pride in the way too. I think Boots was frustrated because nobody expected. Karen got a beautiful ass left hook, yo.
That's not the mark of a great fighter.
Keep it real.
The mark of a great fighter. Do you see?
No, I'm talking about.
You don't see Tank getting
frustrated. No, I'm talking about. I think the holding, but Blue, you gotta admit, you're right. It is up to Boots. He's supposed to have got like I seen Frank Martin try to top Tank up, and I'm talking about second. Tank got him up off him like I ain't even gonna let you grip me. Like, so I get what you're saying. So all that holding, because Boots did have the room to give him the shoulder and get him up off him. You know how to get somebody from tying you up in boxing. So I seen Boots. To be honest, if Cameron had that killer mentality on, bro, man, I seen times that Boots was so lackadaisical that when saw Cameron touch him, he throw his hands down to the side. It was like what if Cameron just let loose? Like you know what I mean? Like they could punch on the break. I seen
I
that
gotta give
a
you some
couple of times.
pushback on this, Karen, bro. I gotta give you some pushback on this.
I'm taking up for Cameron, man. Chill, man.
Hold on, just listen to this. Hold on, just listen to this because you're talking a lot. But just listen to this. You talking about somebody who fought their best fight and they came short against Boots. This guy fought his best fight and still came up short. So let's stop it and focusing on him. We focusing on Boots, who fought an average fight and beat this guy. So let's focus on that. You talking about somebody like Karen like he's done something. No, he didn't did anything, bro. Nothing.
But everything I said, I mean, would you say, yo, he don't make no sense, or you just saying they don't talk about Karen? Because I'm big on making sense.
Yeah, multiple things can coexist in the same space. I'm just gonna say that this comes with it. That's what I know. I know that with greatness, you know what I mean? What they say, what did Spider-Man say? With great power comes great responsibility. Boots Ennis has been given a lot of accolades, and he's been projected to do a lot of great things. He's going to be judged differently than other fighters. This is what comes with it. And it's the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? The good is we think of the world of you. The bad is when you fall short of it, we're going to talk about it. We're going to tell people like, yo, he fell short of greatness. He fell short of greatness, and great people who are chasing greatness have to get comfortable with being held to the standards of greatness. And the standards
he won the fight though, right, Claiborne?
He won the fight 100%, and this is what comes with greatness.
Okay, he won the fight. So what are we talking about? He won. He accomplished the job.
Yeah, but he won. But at the same time,
y'all saying that Boots supposed to have made an adjustment? Y'all saying that Boots supposed to have made adjustments right there in the ring, even if he wasn't prepared for that style?
Fighters figure it out inside of 12 rounds. The great fighters adjust. What could have happened Saturday night is he could have had a hard time with Karen up to about round 5 or 6, and then he could have made an adjustment, and we could have seen him make an adjustment. And we're not talking about that he needed to stop Karen, but if we would have seen him make an adjustment to move away from being hit as much as he was getting hit, we'd have been like, damn, that's what we're trying to see.
That's right on, Clay. My bad. That's because I ain't gonna lie. If you say anything other than that, I ain't gonna lie. I was about to say, hold up, Clay, because Terrence didn't get old boy out of there. That's what I was gonna say. You know what I mean? But
he won the fight.
Terrence did make adjustments. Terrence made adjustments to separate himself in the second half of that fight, and that's how everybody seeing it clear that he beat Matt Jamal. So I just thought you was gonna say something else. That's why
that's a perfect example. You saw Terrence finally figure it out. Like he saw him have a hard time figuring it out, and then you saw when it happened. You're like, oh man, if you'd have did this like 4 rounds earlier, you might have seen maybe he might have even stopped you, because we saw all of a sudden he figured it out. He just figured it out in the later round. So man, Boots is a great fighter, bro, and he's gonna make the adjustments. I have faith in. I'm gonna be looking for him to make the adjustments. I'm going to be looking for it. You know what I'm saying? I want to see it. But this fight, he fell short in that area, and it's okay. And he's a great fighter. And shout out to Yoga in the building. I appreciate you, brother, because you're right. He did win that fight. But what we're talking about is we're talking about boxing.
But y'all don't think Boots respected his power, because Cameron did land a nice left, man. And to start that fight off like that, you don't think that Cameron got enough pop? The only reason I say that because when Boots started backing up, and Cameron did make the fight more like exhausting, because when Boots backed up, Cameron pressed on. When Cameron backed up, Boots. So they both was so. I mean, it was an exhausting fight if you ask me. And that's just for me looking at boxing. It's not even about the names for me. It's just like that was a good fight. If we take up both of the names off, that was a good fight.
Hey, can I get in there for a minute, guys?
Yes, sir.
It's OG, Mr. Mont. What's going on, Blue? Panel, everybody on the panel.
What's up, bro? Good evening.
Yeah. First off, I want to say I don't think Boots is overrated. I just think that one of the things that I've noticed with Boots in the last 4 or 5 fights is Boots is allowed to fight off of pure instinct. There's not really a game plan, in my opinion. I think he's so talented. You know, he's so athletic. You know, Bozy gives him the minimum advice when he goes in there, and he just let Boots do Boots, and he's so used to fighting off of instinct. When he is given instructions, he just go right back to fighting off instinct. Some fighters you can't go in there and throw a bunch of offense in, and Karen is one of those fighters. You got a 74-inch reach compared to Karen's 68-inch reach, and you're not fighting him from the outside. You quit throwing your jab after the second round. He's not setting anything up. He's just going in there doing what Boots do. And some fighters you can't beat like that. Karen wasn't going anywhere. Yeah, you hurt him, but you didn't drop him. He took a knee. He's smart. He's a smart fighter. So once you realized you couldn't knock this guy out, you should have went back to your game plan, but he didn't have a game plan. He just fight off of instinct. He doesn't, he's been so much better than everybody else that he's fought that, you know, that's worked for him. But you have to have a game plan. I'll give you an example. Like when Bud fought Earl, he had a game plan for Earl. They told you he had a game plan for Earl. He was going to start off at Southpaw, stay at Southpaw, and take Earl's jab away. And that's exactly what he did. So when Boots goes in there, and by the time the third round is here, you be done seen everything Boots can do. He done switched 3 or 4 times. He done threw uppercuts from both sides. He done did everything that he could possibly do. And by that time, Karen was used to it. He was used to him switching back and forth. It didn't fool him at all. You know? So, and the thing about it is Boots is one of these fighters who doesn't lose anything, whether he's Southpaw or whether he's Orthodox. But you have to have a game plan for some of these guys. You can't just go in there and throw a bunch of offense at. And, you know, Boots might get to the point where he's exactly what we think he should be. But right now, he's not quite there yet. And at one point, I thought, okay, I don't know if Bud Crawford can beat this guy. But Bud Crawford is one of those guys who can fight off of instinct, and he going to make adjustments if he sees something ain't working. And Boots gave up. Why would you go inside on this guy? And now that gave him all the opportunity in the world to tee off on you. No, you stay outside and you make him panic. You keep hitting him with that jab, whether you Orthodox or Southpaw. You make him work. And then when he slip up, you counter him, do whatever you need to do. But you can't keep doing the same thing over and over, because by that time, Karen had done seen it. He done seen it. By the third or fourth round, he done seen everything that you possibly can do. So in my opinion, I think Bozy needs to get Boots used to taking instructions, because right now Boots just fights off of pure instinct.
I think that was a great breakdown. What's your name, Mister? I don't see your name no more on the screen, but that was awesome.
Yeah, they call me OG Mr. Mont.
Well, yeah, you living up to the name.
Yeah, man. Knock him out. Knock him out.
I mean, look. At the end of the day, I think the high point of what the OG was saying was the difference. He separated, and he showed you the difference between Terrence Crawford and Boots. He showed you. He said if Terrence would have been going through that same situation, Terrence would have adjusted. No matter what the game plan would have been, whatever they practiced all week or for the past 2 months, when he read the room, he would have adjusted. He would have been like, this guy's fighting this way. I thought you saw him against Israel Madrimov, which is a perfect example. They thought Israel Madrimov was going to be aggressive. They thought he was going to try to run him over, and he even said it. He fought a whole different fight. Became this jerky, trying to feint me to death.
Anybody can say that.
And he had to adjust.